Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield. 25 to the 30. The 35 to 40. The 45 to 50. He has only Kovalevsky to beat. Gets through him. The 10 and touchdown for Collins.
Duarte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line. And that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backfield, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Sends one on goal, and he scores! Jonah Popray scores for the second time tonight. And it is a power play goal!
The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 EFA champions.
Live from the Relevant Sports Complex in Temple, Pennsylvania, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2023 American Arena League 2 Championship. Today in a rematch of a thrilling Week 1 game that ended in a walk-off touchdown. The number 1 seed Steel City Stampede take on the number 2 seed Jersey Bearcats for the inaugural AAL2 Championship. And with less than 1 hour until kickoff, we officially welcome you into an extended Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show here on the PDF Sports Network. I'm Joe Foreman, alongside David Pizzuto. And Dave, when we covered our first AAL2 game back in April, these two teams treated us to a thriller. The Stampede came back from down 20 points with just over 6 minutes remaining in the game to win on a touchdown as time expired. Steel City has not lost a game all season, and the Bearcats have not lost since Week 1. It's only fitting that these two teams meet again in an AAL2 championship game that we've been looking forward to since that Week 1 matchup nearly 3 months ago.
Well, Joe, we said it at the conclusion of that game. If that game was any indication of what the season had in store for us, we were going to be in good shape. And both teams have not disappointed since. Perfect season since that day. And it may be hard to imagine, Joe, but these two teams, in my opinion, have gotten even better as the season has developed. It should make for a tremendous final. And for us at PDF Network, Joe, we begin and end our AAL2 season with the two best teams giving us a show. We really couldn't script it any better.
And Dave, we have a special extended pregame ahead of today's championship that will see you head down to the field for some conversations with players and coaches. We'll also get to take a look back at some of the highlights from the Week 1 matchup between these two teams. But before all of that, let's take a look at the playoff bracket entering today's championship. Dave, what stood out to you from the semifinal round of the AAL2 playoffs?
Well, Joe, business as usual. You know, I think both teams would tell you that they were far from perfect. Both teams would tell you there are things to clean up, and yet both teams had dominating victories in much the same fashion as they've been winning all year. For the top-seeded Stampede, you blink, Joe, and they score. It's hard to stay neck and neck with them when their offense is rolling, and if they could score 54 points in a playoff game, they're winning the game. Simple as that. As far as the Bearcats are concerned, we thought maybe the rust of not having played in over a month might affect this team. Not the case. They score on the opening drive against the overmatched Georgia Lions team last week, and like they've done all season, they seem to get on top by a comfortable margin early, and the next thing you know, the opponents are trying to play catch-up all game long. The Bearcats shut down and shut out the Lions for 3 quarters last week, and essentially they rolled to that 33-point win you see on your screen.
As I mentioned before, the Stampede have not lost all season, and the Bearcats haven't lost since Week 1. Here's a look at the path Jersey took on their way to a berth in the inaugural AAL2 Championship. It's clear, looking at the Bearcats' schedule, that this team hasn't just been unbeaten since Week 1. They have been dominant. What can the Stampede do to complete their bid for a perfect season and ensure that the Bearcats' unbeaten streak comes to an end?
Well, they have the benefit of playing with confidence, Joe, knowing that they've beaten this Bearcats team already this season. season. And to me, using that confidence here in their own building to beat will be a key. To that end, if you're the Stampede, you want to assert your game plan and play patient football. Offensively, that means utilizing plays at the line of scrimmage, get that ball out quick so that potent defensive line of the Bearcats can't get to quarterback Caleb Walton. You want to soften up the Bearcats' pass rush, force the Bearcats to cheat up at times, and then boom, you go over top against that one-on-one coverage. You look for that big play. Defensively, Joe, you know the Bearcats are going to look for that deep ball often. You have to take that away. Again, exercise patience. Maybe even concede some of the underneath stuff and then hold stout in the red zone. Especially late in that exceptional come-from-behind win, they did a really great job against Jersey when the field got shrunk. You can tell it frustrated the Bearcats then. They need a repeat performance here this afternoon.
When these two teams met in Week 1, the Stampede held the Bearcats to a season-low 32 points. Since, Jersey has scored 45 points or more in 5 out of 6 games. We know the deep ball is a big weapon for the Bearcats, but the Lions focused on taking that away 2 weeks ago, and the Jersey offense still thrived. How are they able to do that?
Well, Joe, I think having Nasir Adams helps. The Bearcats running back has been dominant in the red zone this season. He scored 2 of the Bearcats' first 3 touchdowns 2 weeks ago on the ground, and they'll need that if they're forced to kind of dink and dunk their way down the field and are forced with those short goal-to-goal situations, as I mentioned. I also really like the way the Bearcats used the middle of the field last week against the Lions. Pete Savridis, Dante Owens, they had a big couple of catches to extend drives and even get in the end zone. Look, the Bearcats are proof that if you elect to play them one way, they'll beat you in other ways. When you have a quarterback like Steph Cologne who has time to throw, your downfield blocking is superb, and your guys at the line of scrimmage can turn a 1-yard gain into a 40-yard play. You have to pick your poison, and you hope you just make more plays.
Well, not only did the Bearcats offense have a big week against the Lions in the semifinals, but the defense forced 3 turnovers and recorded 3 sacks. We've talked so much about the Jersey offense this year, but the defense has arguably been just as good since the start of Week 2.
Agreed, Joe. You know, in the arena game, defense often gets overlooked, but this defense has been stellar. And to me, it's really been about discipline. Guys knowing where they need to be, holding their zones, wrapping up, making tackles, all hats getting to the ball carrier, no one giving up on the play. And Joe, you line up against this defense and you ask yourself, you know, who's the weak link here? There is none. Defense has been outstanding. The linebackers have done an excellent job, and the secondary is just getting better and better with each game. And I think that just comes with sheer repetitions and comfort lining up alongside your teammates week after week.
In Week 1, the Stampede did something that only one other team has done this season. They scored over 30 points against the Bearcats. We've already spoken about how the Stampede can try and slow down this Jersey team. What lessons were there to be learned for this Bearcats defense in Week 1 against Steel City, and how can they make sure they leave here today as AAL2 champions?
That's a great question, Joe. And in games that we saw the Bearcats play against the Eagles, the Warriors, and 2 weeks ago against the Lions, those teams had 1, maybe 2 legitimate weapons, game changers, if you will. Steel City's different. Nathan Beamer, Jeremy Estremera, Manny Stewart, Keen Stewart coming out of the backfield, and of course, quarterback Caleb Walton. In Week 1, you've never heard of these players. You know, you may have never seen them on film. You're learning your opponent and your teammates. Believe me, 3 months later, you know exactly who these guys are, where they're going to be at the field at all times. And your job is to limit their playmaking ability, plain and simple. Take away their space, make them uncomfortable, frustrate them. You do that by playing good, strong, fundamental football, limit your mistakes, hit your assignments, and when you get a chance to hit them, you do it and you make sure you get them to the ground.
Well, Dave, I have a feeling you will get a chance to ask some of the players and coaches about that Week 1 matchup as well. So while we send Dave down to the field, we will break for a message from our sponsors. This is PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2023 American Arena League 2 Championship Game. The countdown to kickoff continues here on the Brownstone pregame show when we come back.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
Warananko Sports Center is the official home of the Jersey Bearcats and is proud to welcome the AAL2. Located at One Park Drive in Roselle, Warananko is available for parties and rentals, public skating in the winter, and camps and activities each spring and summer. Visit us at waranankopark.com to learn more about our rink, indoor dining and party area, and all that beautiful Warananko Park has to offer. waranankopark.com or call 908-298-7849.
Arena football fans, make sure you keep up with the latest news and information from the AAL and AAL2 all year long at AmericanArenaLeague.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like, subscribe, and follow all of the AAL2 teams to keep up with the latest league happenings and stay connected. Want to sponsor the AAL and AAL2? Contact us at info@AmericanArenaLeague.com. We'll see you at the arena.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
The Jersey Bearcats would like to thank Von Seals Veggies and Seafood, official food sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats game day. Von Seals Food Truck is available for bookings at vvsfoodtruck@gmail.com, specializing in the most delicious seafood with the freshest of vegetables made to order. Follow Chef Supreme and Von Seals on Facebook to see where we are serving the best plant and pescatarian food near you. Welcome back to the Brownstone pregame show here on the PDF Sports Network. We are closing in on kickoff, and it's time now to go to field level. Dave is downstairs with head coach and co-owner of the Bearcats, AJ Roque, to get his thoughts on the game tonight. Dave, take it away.
Okay, Joe, we are here with co-owner of the Bearcats, co-owner of the AAL2, AJ Roque. AJ, you got to this point so far as the owner of the league itself. How gratifying is it to get to this point after the many years of setting up the AAL2 to get to this championship game?
Oh, this is like one of the happiest days ever. You start a league and hopefully everything goes right and get to the championship game. That's all you can ask for is get through the season and have the championship game. I'm in heaven. I love it.
Absolutely. And of course, as a coach of this team, you have a game to win here today, and you get to face the Steel City Stampede. Almost necessary to lose that first game because it gave this team such a focus throughout the whole season. Tell me a little bit about that mindset all year long about getting back here to face this team.
No, absolutely. That loss definitely, I would say, humbled us. And I think we needed that because, we come in and, on paper we got a really, really good team, right? And once we lost that game, it was like, all right, we took a step back now. Like, all right, now we got to figure it out. Now we got to get going, get rolling. We're beatable. So we had to, be able to fix some things and play 60 minutes of football. And that's been our mantra rest of the season since that first game. Go 1-0 each week. And, here we are. Everything else take care of itself.
Yeah, so a perfect season since that loss, AJ. The team seems to be getting better and better with each week, especially defensively. You guys held the Lions to no points through 3 quarters last week, and you're going to need a good defensive performance here again today.
Absolutely. Our defense, they're going to do what they do. It starts with our D-line. They get after the quarterback. They're going to put a lot of pressure on that D-line, and it's a long day for those, for their opposing team, and we're ready for it. Our guys are definitely ready for it.
And, offensively, they held you to 32 points earlier this season. That's been your season low in games in which you've played. What's the focus here offensively to put some more points on the board, get out of here with the W?
Just to continue doing what we do. The fumble. We hurt ourselves after I think we got the ball in the 10, didn't punch it in. We just got to play our football, just not let them dictate, what we do. We take what they give us. like we've been doing everybody this whole year. So
Steel City, they come in with a lot of weapons. They spread the ball out to a lot of different receivers, especially. What's the game plan to contain their talent?
Get pressure. We get pressure on the quarterback, and make him throw the ball before he wants to. And our DBs, that's another thing. Our DBs and our defensive coordinator and everything is different now. So there's just different team. Different defense that's gonna get thrown at them. Guys that they haven't seen yet in person.
AJ, thanks for joining us. We'll see you at halftime.
Absolutely.
All right. Good luck. AJ Roque, of course, head coach of the Jersey Bearcats. Joe, will send it back up to you.
All right, thanks, Dave. Great job. And joining Dave in just a few moments will be another member of this Jersey Bearcats team, a big offensive playmaker. Pete Savridis, wide receiver for Jersey, will join Dave down on the field, and we will send it to Dave, who is down at field level with Pete Savridis.
All right, Joe, I am here with Pete Savridis from the Jersey Bearcats. Wide out, Pete, you've had some big games this season, none bigger than today, a rematch against Steel City. Tell me a little bit about the team's mindset coming in.
The team's mindset is the same as always. It's just another game for us. We've been practicing since March together, and every day we treat it the same. Every day is a championship game. Every day is a championship practice, so it's nothing new for us.
What a lot of people forget is that this is really the first year of the AAL2, first year of your team as a unit coming together. The teams have gotten better and better. Has that come from just simple repetitions and being able to practice alongside these guys all year?
Yeah, of course. We're all football guys. We've all been playing since we were kids. And a lot of us, you put us together on a field. You give us a playbook. We put the work in after hours, and we can come together. It's just natural for us. That's what we do.
Absolutely. And as far as the game plan here today, obviously without giving away the X's and O's, you're playing against a pretty good Steel City defense. Offensively, what's the mindset? What do you want to do personally in this game?
Just do like I always do. Just give my best. That's it.
Absolutely. So, Pete, good luck today. Congratulations on a great season. Hopefully it ends up well for you tonight. You got it. All right. Pete Savridis joining us from the Bearcats. We'll stay down here, Joe, but we'll kick it up to you first.
All right, thanks, Dave. And from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side of the ball, Dave is now joined by a playmaker for the Jersey defense. He is on field level with Sadiq Nathaniel.
All right, Joe, I am here with defensive back Sadiq Nathaniel. Sadiq, it's been a great season so far, but it only makes sense for you to win this game today. What's the mindset of the team in order to complete this season with your 9th straight victory?
I'm sure you probably heard this all week, every time, 60 minutes. 60 minutes of physical domination, 60 minutes, we just want this win. That's all that matters. No excuses, no mistakes. Let's get it. It's the one that matters.
And Sadiq, you added a couple of new faces throughout the season defensively. Seems like the defense is really gelling as of late, really playing its best football. So what do you attribute that success?
Well, for starters, definitely we had a new DC come in during the middle of the season. I heard somebody say it was an interview, like we listened to him, we locked in, we gave him that chance, and he ran with it. Our first game against Maryland, that his first game, I think we let up 8 points in total. That's where it began. That's where people started trusting in each other. We didn't have to really talk. We truly locked in and trusting in ourselves, So just trying to keep it continuing. Since then, I don't think anybody scored over, 25, 30 on us?
Probably.
That's garbage time or something, but whatever, that's okay.
One thing that sets Steel City apart, Sadiq, is that they have a lot of weapons. They spread the ball all over the field, have 3 or 4 different wideouts that get a lot of looks at the ball. What's the game plan, especially in the secondary, to how to contain all those guys running around the field?
Literally, we're just going to play our game. I don't want to get too caught up in it, but I know last game our secondary definitely didn't allow a catch to the third quarter. So if we play our game, that's us just playing, talking to each other, communicating, flying around. If we do that, this shouldn't be no problem. I'm number 11, that dude that caught the game. Oh, I'm going to see him today. Y'all going to see.
All right. Sure. Nathan Beamer, of course, Sadiq calling you out a little bit. Sadiq, speaking of the one-on-one battles, you returned an interception for a touchdown a few weeks ago. Of course, for you personally on the field, what do you want to do today?
See, I have 2 different type of games. I have the pick 6 because I take advantage of what people do when they come towards me. But last game, our last playoff game, they really didn't target my side of the field. Regardless, the other side of the field ended up getting 4 interceptions. So regardless of how they play it, I got to play my game, stay in my head, make sure that, we do what we've been doing. That's the key to today. Just do what we've been doing, lock in. It's the most important, man. That's it.
Sadiq, best of luck today. Good luck out there.
You
got it.
Keep doing your thing. I love this, man. I love it.
Sadiq Nathaniel, number 21 of the New Jersey Bearcats. Joe, we'll throw it back up to you. We'll hear from the Stampede side of things.
All right, thanks again, Dave, and we'll give Dave a few moments to head down to the other end of the field where he is going to be joined by Steel City Stampede head coach Matt Santiago. Coach Santiago and the Stampede looking to complete their bid for a perfect season in today's championship. I've got the thumbs up. Dave is ready along with Coach Santiago. Dave, take it away.
All right, Joe, I am here with head coach and team owner of the Steel City Stampede, Matt Santiago. Coach, you know, you're facing this Bearcats team. It's been a great season so far, perfect so far, but the team has gotten better and better with each game. Tell me a little bit about how the team has come together throughout the season and what's gotten you to play your best football right now.
Well, we've been just playing football. It was whatever they put in front of us, we try to keep it moving with it. What was the best? They kind of bonded. A little early, like I said.
Sure.
If they click, it's hard to stop.
Right.
We've seen it week 1. But other than that, I think we'll be fine today.
One thing about that week 1 game and the victory, it got you to play here in your building. That's got to be a big focus for your team here today.
That's all right. We wasn't expecting to play here. We was expecting to be in Jersey somewhere. But we ended up playing here. So.
All right, so home of Steel City, at least. Your opponents today are the Bearcats. You've obviously seen them once before. They're a tough team. They have playmakers all over the field. What's the game plan to stop their big-time attack?
Well, we're gonna have to stop their quarterback from throwing that ball. He likes to throw the deep ball. If we could stop the deep ball and keep their little run in tight and not let them get around the edge, I think we'll be all right today.
All right. Speaking of deep ball, that play at the end of the game last time with Nathan, you guys also like to throw it all over the field with Caleb at the helm. Tell me a little bit about how he's playing coming into this game and the mindset of your offense coming in.
Caleb's a smart kid, though. He knows a little too much sometimes you say, well, do this. But we're just going to try to keep it simple. What works, and what don't work, we're going to throw it out.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us here on the pregame. Good luck to you guys tonight. You got it. Joe, that was head coach Matt Santiago. We'll throw it back up to you.
We just got a chance to hear from Stampede head coach Matt Santiago. Now we're going to get a chance to hear from the Stampede quarterback. Dave is standing by with signal caller for the Steel City Stampede, Caleb Walton.
Here we go. All right, Joe, I am here with Stampede quarterback Caleb Walton. Caleb, you know, last time you played the Bearcats, it took that last play to win the game, but you had over 200 yards throwing in that game. Tell me a little bit about what you take away from that first game that you bring into this one.
Yeah, no, I think we moved the ball pretty well, attacking them vertically and also horizontally. We had we took what they gave us. We had a lull for a few drives. There was one right before half. The drive before that, there was just turnovers on fumbled snaps. You know, watched that game multiple times since we played them, and just really realized that we got down because we made little mistakes, not taking care of the football. So we're looking. Since then, you know, we haven't had much of an issue with the QB center exchange. So, and that has a whole lot to do with our success, getting the ball into my hands and then giving it to our 4 or 5 really good wideouts.
Absolutely. And one of the things I mentioned to Coach Santiago was how the team has really been gelling and developing throughout the season. He had mentioned you guys had only gotten together a couple of weeks before the season even started, really, ramping up for the season. Tell me a little bit about how that process has been for you personally and what you make of this team coming into this game.
Yeah, I think there were a couple really key late additions, myself included. It wasn't until they were 2 weeks into camp that I took the invite to come up and play here. Mm-hmm. And that's really attributed to the receivers on this team. They're guys that I've played with in other arena teams and other arena leagues. And if it weren't for those guys, our success really is on those guys. Those guys are real good playmakers. They've learned the arena game. They're continuing to learn from it. I think that group in itself has really gelled really well this year on the offensive ball, which this is an offensive, fast-scoring game. So that's what you want to see here.
All right, well, Caleb, we're going to be looking at you all game. Good luck today, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, you got it. Caleb Walton, head quarterback of the Steel City Stampede. Joe, we'll throw it back up to you.
Great job as always, Dave. And while we get Dave back up to the booth, let's cut now to a word from all of our sponsors before getting you closer to kickoff. This is PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2023 AAL2 Championship, and you're watching the Brownstone Grill pregame show.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at totalperformancebodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email daveriemann@rcn.com. New Jersey Urban News is a voice for the voiceless, breaking news, health and wellness, business, the arts, and the latest local sports. As a black news source in the Garden State, New Jersey Urban News is dedicated to covering New Jersey's vibrant African-American community through informative stories and thorough coverage. New Jersey Urban News covers stories often overlooked by mainstream media, impacting the 1.3 million people that make up New Jersey's black community. Visit them today at njurbannews.com. Today's broadcast is being sponsored by the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army Junior ROTC, and the Crusaders, a winning combination of enterprise, leadership, innovation, courage, and commitment. Learn more about the U.S. Army and ROTC programs by visiting goarmy.com and at usarmyjrotc.com. Become a part of our winning team through enrollment, employment, and leadership opportunities. Be all you can be with the Army and Army ROTC. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Three Bleezies Entertainment Group on the Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Catch the Three Bleezies weekly show, as well as live recordings, and all the opinions and the unfiltered hot topics you've come to love about semi-pro. It's the resource for semi-pro football and more, from the official source for all things Bleezy. The Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Visit and follow now. Mundo, yeah, yeah.
Unique Resin Design specializes in home decor with one-of-a-kind handcrafted resin products, perfect for your home and any place you love. Perfect for gifts and parties, let Imani Green dazzle you with inspirational creations you can get at only one place, Unique Resin Designs. Visit us at uniqueresindesign.com and learn how to get free shipping on your next order.
Lila Keys Photography. To capture the very best memories, let Lila Keys Photography be your answer for maternity and milestone photos, family portraits, events, and graduations. From simple headshots to action-packed sports photography, Lila Keys Photography preserves your greatest moments and achievements. Reach out at lilakeys21@gmail.com or reach out via Instagram at Lila Keys.
Welcome back inside the Relevant Sports Complex here in Temple, Pennsylvania, and the Brownstone Grill pregame show. Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside David Pizzuto, and as promised, it's time to take a look back at the Week 1 matchup between the Steel City Stampede and the Jersey Bearcats. Before we play some video highlights from the game, let's take a look at our matchup by the numbers from the Week 1 game between these two teams.
Well, Joe, you could see the outstanding offensive numbers for both teams. You look at the Stampede's passing numbers next to their rushing totals, pretty clear to see, paints a good picture of how they put up points, right? The Bearcats numbers, a bit low comparatively, Joe, but keep in mind they only ran 23 offensive plays in the entire game, while the Stampede obviously had the more. You see that as well. Outstanding numbers either way in a game that had a running clock pretty much throughout the game, save for inside of a minute left in each half. And of course, Joe, the huge number that stands out to me at least, those turnovers. Both Stampede turnovers coming on botched snaps, while the Bearcats, they lost their fumble with 12 seconds left, of course, leading to that last second chance and that walk-off score for the Stampede.
The Week 1 matchup between these two teams was a highlight reel of big plays on both sides of the ball, but we picked a few of the game's biggest plays to take a look at ahead of today's championship. Let's start in the first half when Jersey put 3 rushing touchdowns on the board, 2 coming from Nasir Adams.
You could see the replays, and what did Nasir Adams tell you last week, Joe? That he plays big boy football. Nasir is a big guy, but he does get into and out of some tight spots, and this was the second one, and we talked about those tight spots. He's able to weave in and out of traffic there, get that goal line. Perfect job that time.
Cologne scored a touchdown on a quarterback sneak in the first half from just outside of the 2-yard line. That accounted for the third Bearcats score in half number 1. But while the Bearcats scored 3 times on the ground in the first half, the Stampede scored twice through the air. Here's a look at how they did it.
We talked about good fundamental football. Here are the Bearcats with a chance to take down Nathan Beamer in the flat. Instead, you see the athleticism and the speed in the open field. This was Nathan's first catch of the game. I'd say he introduced himself quite nicely to the Bearcats and the rest of the AAL2. And that opened up the scoring there for the Stampede. And we're going to take a look. That was one of his actual 3 scores in the game. On this second clip, Joe, was the first catch of the season by Manny Stewart on the first real downfield throw by Walton after predominantly working the sideline. You see the single coverage. Gorgeous timing on that throw was a thing of beauty. Joe, the Bearcats only ran 2 plays in the whole third quarter of that game, and that's where they scored their 2 touchdowns. First, a 1-play drive on a touchdown pass here from Cologne to Savridis. Look at that time Cologne had in the pocket. Perfect ball towards the corner. That touchdown came off of a Stampede fumble. And like we said, 1 play, 1 score for the Bearcats. And you could see the scoreboard on your screen as well. That opened up a 14-point lead. The Bearcats were unable to capitalize on the 2-point conversion.
Now we'll get a look at that second passing touchdown.
Yeah, it was on off of a Stampede turnover on downs. Dante Owens, top of your screen. You could see him here. The quarterback jumps the underneath route.
Dante Owens, he got a chance to join us for our conversation following the Bearcats win in the semifinals round of the playoffs, East Coast Trophies and Awards Player of the Game. On the offensive side, we'll talk a bit more about the player who got that accolade on the defensive side a bit later during our pregame show. As we've seen, the Bearcats have gotten some big plays from their offense. That is evident taking a look at those 2 replays. However, they also got some help from both their defense and the issues the Stampede had snapping the football. Here's a look at how each of those shaped the game and helped the Bearcats build their lead.
All right, we'll take a look at some of the defensive prowess here. 3 fumbles in that opener. Here was one. All 3 of those fumbles on the quarterback center exchange. Stampede got the first one back, but they lost the last 2. And here's big sack by Javon Young, who had a monster game, especially late in that first half and then to start the third quarter as well. Just good ball sense, Joe, knowing where the ball is, staying true to their assignments, and you could see the turnover. That, of course, led to one of the big scores, and then another one there. You could see Davis getting on top of it. So everybody getting involved, Joe. Those 2 turnovers really hurt. The Bearcats were able to turn those into points.
We've talked about it many times, but we never got a chance to analyze the video on air. We might have to speed through this just a bit as we get closer to kickoff, but a lot went wrong for the Bearcats at the end of their Week 1 loss. However, the Stampede also did a lot very well to escape Warananko with the win. Let's take a look back at the closing minutes of the game and see how the last few possessions played out. As we mentioned, the Bearcats led by as many as 20 points, had a chance to close out that Week 1 game, but credit to the Stampede. They were able to get on the board for a touchdown. That cut the lead down to 14. Here's a look at the two-point try and a huge reception there in the back of the end zone to bring that in by Manny Stewart. That really is the play that set up the Stampede comeback. The Bearcats did have a chance to close out the game. They got the ball back with 22 seconds left, as we will get one more look at that second Beamer touchdown. There you see it over the top of the Jersey defense. Beamer cuts the lead to 6. And you'll see here in a 4-point game, the Bearcats had a chance just by carrying the ball forward to ice the game. They could not do it. One of the rare miscues we've seen from Nasir Adams all season. He coughs up the football, recovered by the Stampede, and we all know what happens next, Dave. Unfortunately, it was obstructed from the view of our camera. The ceiling facade didn't do us any favors in that Week 1 game, but we can assure you Nathan Beamer made the catch. The Stampede bench goes wild, and unfortunately for Jersey, they are dealt their lone loss of the season. As a result of that win, the Stampede are looking to complete their bid for perfection here in today's championship game. A thriller in Week 1. We hope for more of the same today.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of these two teams on social media, you've seen plenty of different angled highlights of that Nathan Beamer catch in the corner. We saw one from a few different areas of the field, and both teams are getting set here for the coin toss, Joe. So we're going to start in a few minutes. May have a choppy screen, but we'll try to get that sorted out for you as well.
And with that end to our look back at Week 1, the stage is set for this AAL2 Championship as the Steel City Stampede take on the Jersey Bearcats. When we come back, we wrap up the Brownstone pregame show here on the PDF Sports Network. Today's game is being brought to you by Staples, the official office superstore. With multiple locations throughout the tri-state area, Staples has what you need for your office, home, or home office. Visit us at staples.com for the location nearest you. And by Phenom, providing the official ball of the American Arena League and the official outfitting partner of the Jersey Bearcats. Visit phenomelitebrand.com for gotta-have apparel and accessories. This broadcast is being brought to you by Pioneer Sports Incorporated, providing quality programs to underserved communities, providing team owners with support and tools to run quality programs. Visit them at pioneersportsinc.com or call 609-658-7532. And by DJ Willie Will of Spectra Sunshine Sounds. DJ Willie Will is part of the Spanish Harlem Street Jocks. Contact Willie Flores for the best DJ services at your next event. Call 212-987-4425 or email scbanton40@yahoo.com. And by DG Visuals, photography by Danny Gomez. Call or email today for the DG Visual Experience, one unlike any other. And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network, just moments away from kickoff in this 2023 AAL2 Championship featuring the Steel City Stampede, the #1 seed, entering this championship, hosting the #2 seed, Jersey Bearcats. On your screen, you see the Bearcats huddled. That sideline is on our side of the field where we are broadcasting from. However, we are in the left corner of the opposite end zone. We are also aware that we are having some video streaming issues right now. This game will be uploaded in its entirety without any of those video glitches soon after the conclusion of the game. Unfortunately, the internet connection here at the Relevant Sports Complex cannot support our live stream, and we are having some video issues as a result. Once again, the game will be uploaded in its entirety following the conclusion conclusion of this AAL2 Championship. Also, Dave, if you hear some voices that aren't ours, we are very close to the action, very close to the field, and very close to the Stampede bench. So we're going to get some sounds and some sights from very close to the field in this AAL2 Championship. A very unique perspective to call this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We are right by the entryway to where the Stampede enter and exit the field. So we will pick up some of that noise as we go, but the Stampede are going to be the team that kicks off, Joe. So an interesting matchup. We mentioned it last week when they played against Georgia Lina, how Georgia Lina elected to kick.
You said it, Dave, last week in that game, or I should say 2 weeks ago in the game between the Lions and the Bearcats. Georgia Lina electing to kick, and the Bearcats initially looked like their offense might have missed a beat following a long layoff after their last regular season game. Keep in mind the Bearcats season ended with a pair of wins by forfeit. After a slow start to their opening drive against Georgia Lina, they were able to kick it into high gear, scored 47 points, ran away with the win, earned their spot in this championship as the ball falls off the tee, and they'll tee it up once again as we await kickoff in this AAL2 Championship. Stampede earned their spot with a first-round victory over the Maryland Eagles. That game was also played here in Temple, Pennsylvania. Mitchell Aponic will send it away, and that's a squib kick. And it bounces off the hands of a Bearcat. It is picked up, and a flag flies on that play as the return man was taken down right along the midfield stripe. Very tough angle to get a look at numbers at the far end of the field. I believe that might have been Ethan Grobard on the return for Jersey, but once again, very tough to tell as we call the action from the corner of the end zone through the netting along the near sideline relative to the position of our camera. However, good starting field position for Jersey on their opening drive. They take over at midfield. Once again, for those who are unfamiliar in the arena game, field only 50 yards long, plus the end zones by 80 feet wide. And we wait the first snap in this 2023 AAL2 Championship. A nice crowd assembled. Bleacher seating in the corners of the East Coast Sports Academy, a part of the Relevant Sports Complex here in Temple. Spectators are seated in the corners opposite our camera. Also, several spectators gathered along the sideline. Stephen Colon at quarterback for Jersey. Dante Owens in motion. Colon looking to throw. Under pressure, just gets it away, and that pass is caught by Pete Savridis, who is taken down for maybe a gain of half a yard on the play. And on the first snap of the game, the Steel City pass rush gets home, and Colon just got that football away. Very dangerous play for Jersey to get the action started as Colon was hit just after he released that football. Savridis was then wrestled down to the ground. Dave got a chance to speak to the Jersey wideout ahead of this game during our Brownstone Grill pregame show. We got a chance for 5 pregame interviews today as part of our special extended championship pregame. Once again, a man in motion, pre-snap. That was Kyle Ward as Colon takes off, looking to run, and he is brought down by the face mask. And that's going to be a personal foul against Steel City. And how about that for a counter to the pass rush, Dave? After the pass rush got home on the first snap of the game, Bearcats drop a design quarterback run, not something we've seen very often this year, and it worked out pretty well. Colon carries that one for a gain of about 4. And we do have a personal foul against the defense that will give Jersey their first down of the game.
Yeah, and it might be a result of a face mask that came in late as well. But sometimes you have to read and react. Joe, was a point that we wanted to make as well about some of the keys to the game. Take what the defense will give you, and if they're going to concede that underneath, if they're going to give you different looks to prevent you from going up top, sometimes those design runs could be the difference, especially up the middle and to the sidelines at times.
And And that is not something we've seen from Jersey much at all this season. Outside of that quarterback sneak for a touchdown.
No, usually when he's under duress, and that's about it.
First down for the Bearcats. Screen pass set up. That pass is caught by Nasir Adams. He reaches for the goal line, and he's in for a Bearcats touchdown.
Perfectly designed screen pass. They let the rush come in, Joe, and it was Nasir Adams from there, powering like he does. Big boy football. He said it himself. Puts those shoulders down and muscles ahead over the goal line. 6-0 Bearcats.
And you have to love that play calling from Jersey. What a counter to that Steel City pass rush. Instant pressure on the first play of the game. They'd run a design quarterback keeper on snap number 2. They go with the screen pass on their third offensive snap. And that results in a Jersey touchdown to open the scoring. Anthony Storego will try the extra point. His kick is up. And his kick is perfect, right down the center of the uprights. Bearcats lead it 7-0. And something to note, Dave, the ceiling a bit higher here than it is in Warananko, so that Uno could be in play on kickoffs. That also impacts the kicking game as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something we should keep our eye on too, Joe, because the Stampede blocked 2 extra points, and the Bearcats missed one in their opener. And, of course, you look at the little differences in the score, 34-32 the last time these two teams met. Well, these extra points mean a huge deal for both of these teams, and Bearcats are 1 for 1.
You said it, Dave. 1 point could be a difference maker. The first meeting between these two teams decided by just a pair. Late in that game, a big 2-point conversion that came on the catch by Manny Stewart, a difference maker. That was ultimately the difference in the final score and gave Steel City a chance to win it with that walk-off touchdown. Stampede offense getting ready to take the field for the first time in this championship game as the Bearcats are set to send it away. Storego will kick off. Stewart is deep for the Stampede. The up man, Northern. And the second up man will be the one who grabs that ball. That's Juju Jordan. Jordan out toward midfield, and he is stopped there. And just like the Bearcats, Dave, the Stampede will start from right around the midfield stripe.
Yep, absolutely. So it's really what you want to do is field that clean, get yourself in good starting field position. The Steel City Stampede did well in this position of the field in their first game. We saw some of the highlights that proved it as well. And here on their first drive, they'll have it at midfield. And, Joe, we should mention there is no scoreboard here in the Stampede complex, so we are keeping ours to the best of our ability as far as time is concerned. But we are very unofficial as far as time. And something to be said about that, too, Joe, because I confirmed with head coach Roque about time and how that's supposed to work. The clock is supposed to stop in between possessions and on alternating possessions, but I did hear a conversation with the officials that said the clock will be running throughout and would only be stopping inside of that minute. So that is contrary to what we know the rules to be, but we're in the dark as far as the official time. We'll do our best to keep it for you.
Perhaps Lewis could send us some information from the scoreboard operator. He's positioned at midfield. Walton throws right. That pass is caught on the screen. And Levante Lewis was taken down after that completion. Tough to tell what the gain was on that play, but it was a short one, at least from our perspective. Now, along the sideline here, there are a lot of bodies between us and the action. When someone needs to pass by in front of Dave and I, we have to step back from the netting and make sure they can pass. So if something occurs along the near side boards, it might be a bit difficult for us to pick up the action. We will do our best. Walton takes the snap, looks to his left, throws over the middle. That pass is caught down near the goal line, and the tackle is made short of the end zone. 2 plays and 2 nice gains for this Steel City offense as Manny Stewart has his first reception, and Steel City quickly on the doorstep of their first touchdown.
Patient football. Walton, you know, is going to have options, Joe, when he goes back to pass. As long as he gets the time to throw, he should have somebody on either matched up on single coverage or hanging out underneath undefended. And so that'll be his look.
3 receivers on the field here for Steel City. Stewart, Lewis, Nathan Beamer. Beamer one-on-one on the outside on the left. Walton rolls to his right, throws toward Beamer. That's incomplete. And it looked like there was a bit of miscommunication there between Keene Stewart and Caleb Walton on that fake handoff.
Part of me thinks that Walton maybe was thinking about taking off himself, but then the pressure was there, and I think that pass was more a throwaway than anything else, as it was actually a dangerous pass across his body. But kind of hard to tell, Joe, but the ball looks like it's at about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Definitely close to the end zone. And down in this area of the field, if there's one receiver that you'd like to throw a jump ball to, if you're Steel City, Nathan Beamer is probably that guy. He's one-on-one on the right this time.
Ball's at the 5, Joe.
Walton in trouble, throws to his right, and that is just wide of the intended target. That was Stewart on the short crossing route, and that will set up a 3rd down.
Yeah, but again, the credit there goes to that front line of the Bearcats, as this will be a 3rd and goal coming up. But you could see the pressure getting in, and when you got Caleb Walton kind of backpedaling into that pocket, you could see those passes are not going to be where he wants it. Didn't miss by much, just a foot or so past.
3rd and goal. 3 receivers on the field once again. Man in motion is Lewis. Walton wants to pass, throws to his right, and that pass was caught in the front corner of the end zone by Lewis. A flag flew shortly after the snap, and it looks like Jersey is clapping on the defensive side. This appears to be going against the Stampede.
Yeah, they certainly think so. Walton, of course, at the end of that play just went right back into the huddle as if they were going to line this one back. I think they knew what the call was going to be. So it'll remain a 3rd and goal, and depending on what the penalty was, the ball will be placed at either the 10 or the 15.
Well, this goal-to-go situation started at the 5, and ahead of that last snap, Stampede offense was still at the 5.
And, Joe, we've said it in many games this season. When you get in close there, now the touchdowns are a little bit wider here at the Steel Cities complex than it is where we're used to at Warananko in New Jersey. But still, the tight quarters make it extremely difficult on this constricted field. And you're almost better served giving a team a 1st and goal, although now they get a little bit of extra breathing room.
And Dave, the Bearcats fans appear to have traveled well. They're making their voices heard. Chance of defense down around the end zone as we await the spotting of this football. Now, if it was a 5-yard pre-snap penalty, that would put Steel City at the 10. But it looks like they've been moved outside of the 10-yard line by just a bit.
Yep, just outside the 10, Joe. You can see it on our monitors pretty well.
I'll have to start utilizing the monitor a bit more. Stewart in motion pre-snap. Walton throws that way. Stewart goes down, and that pass is intercepted. Early turnover forced by this Bearcats defense, and once again, Dave, Devon Blutcher with the INT.
Well, he's been hot, 2 in his last game, and adds another one there. And, of course, that play was broken because of the wideout falling on the play, Stewart. How about that? A touchdown wiped off the board due to a penalty, and this is the follow-up.
Nothing gained, nothing lost other than possession, as that quick throw is intended for Kyle Ward, and he was immediately met on that hit by Karif Hakeem.
Yeah, he was able to lay the hit right in the back of Ward as soon as that ball was right there. Ward thought he might have gotten interfered with, but not the case. But again, Joe, you see the Bearcats opting to go underneath and not looking to go up over top. As the Stampede begin to cheat in and cheat in and cheat in, you wonder, the clock ticking, and the Bearcats will be looking to go over top.
Early in this game, the Stampede have looked to bring pressure, and that will undoubtedly take away the deep ball from this Bearcats offense. Cologne once again in the shotgun. 3 receivers wide. Cologne looking to his left, steps up, fumbles the football, it's loose. Fight for possession. We will see who has it. And it is going to stay with the Bearcats, but dangerous play for Jersey early, Dave, as Justin Gowan was able to dive on top of that football.
Yeah, good heads-up play by Gowan just to get back there. Now, that does set up a 3rd down and very long for the Bearcats, but this is something that the Bearcats had problems with. The center quarterback exchange, but that time that was good, and it was the rest of it that kind of fell apart. Brooklyn Wells coming in and laying a shot to Steph Cologne, squeezing that ball out. I think the ball now back down close to the 5-yard line.
We spoke about it during the pregame, Dave. No defense performed better against this Jersey offense than Steel City did in week 1. They're looking to get off the field here and give the ball back to their offense. 3rd and long, Savridis in motion. He heads up the field. Cologne is looking that way. He throws towards Savridis, and that is knocked away by Lamage Northern as a flag flies along the far sideline, and that may give Jersey a first down.
Joe, it's close, but Northern did have his hand on the right shoulder pad of Savridis. We will see what the call is. It's obviously pass interference. What they're trying to settle now is the yard marker, Joe, of whether this is a yardage foul or whether this is a spot foul. The Stampede bench is arguing that this is only a 5-yard penalty.
Now, Dave, throughout the season, has the norm at wear an ankle been 2 or 3 officials? Because I heard before we got started that at the time there were only 2 officials. Are there 3 out there now or just 2?
I just see the 2, Joe, unless one is outside of our screen.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a 50-50 call, Joe. But as far as contact, there was. Now, if I'm the person in stripes, I'm probably keeping that flag in my pocket. But you can't argue that there was not contact.
Handoff on the sweep, and that is blown up as we have another flag in the offensive backfield. That carry by Kyle Ward goes nowhere, and we will see what the result of this penalty marker is.
Yep, and it might bring the Bearcats back, as it will. It is a holding call. But these plays, Joe, designed to kind of soften up the front 3 of the Stampede, get them cheating upwards up the field so you can then utilize the middle of the field and over top later in the game. They haven't been able to get that edge, though, so credit the Stampede so far with the good defense against the run.
And we said it ahead of last week's game, Dave. The best way to stop this Jersey offense so far this season, and not many teams have succeeded in that, is to make them run a lot of plays. We have seen a lot of holding penalties against the Bearcats this year. That opened the door for the Stampede in week 1. They took full advantage, and after that defensive infraction was called against Steel City, the Bearcats move pretty much back to the original line of scrimmage ahead of that flag. And going back to that call, Dave, you said it, there looked like there was contact. The question is, was the hand just resting on the back of the receiver, or was there a tug, maybe a slight push? Impossible to tell on our replay, but that's the difference between flag and no flag.
Yeah, and I don't think there was that tug, Joe, and that's why I would not have made that call. But with that hand resting there on that inside shoulder, tough. Either way, they back him up. It'll be a 1st and 20 here.
I'm inclined to agree with you on your assessment of that call, Dave. Still first down for Jersey as we have a whistle down on the field, and it looks
like the end of the first quarter, Joe.
We have the end of quarter number 1. So, Dave, I don't think there's any doubt that the clock was running throughout that entire quarter, as we are going to stay right here through the break between quarters. Now, for those watching at home who might be having issues with the video stream, turn down your resolution to the lowest available option. That way, at the very least, you'll have the audio, and then when you come back later, you'll have the game in full 1080p on demand. So to get the best viewing experience right now, turn down your resolution all the way to perhaps 244, 160, or 360p. You'll get the audio call of the game, should come through pretty clean, and then later, hopefully within the next 2 or 3 hours following the conclusion of this game, we'll have the full 1080p broadcast rendering on YouTube available for viewing tonight.
Yeah, and it was our one concern coming here, but we're doing the very best that we can. And, of course, with our high-powered equipment, we are at the mercy sometimes of that internet. But as Joe mentioned before, we're doing our best, make sure everything gets recorded. So after the fact, we will upload the game in its entirety for you. And with same thing with the clock situation as well. We will follow as best as we can. The clock is not even running here at the facility, although the scoreboard is on. So we are on our own as far as telling how much time is left. But we'll do the best we can. We thank, of course, Andrew Rotundo, our engineer tonight, and, of course, Lou Matrone, who's about, 25, 30 yards away from us.
Now, Dave, we open our cell phones and we see 3 letters, SOS. No service here at Temple at the Relevant Sports Complex. Is not exactly sure what the delay is here, as we're in between quarters right now.
Well, Stampede coach Santiago coming out to talk to the officials as well. And, Joe, as you mentioned, again, we're operating with 2 officials on the field, so that could be part of it as well, as both coaches now exchange a few words. Pleasant words, I want to say.
Yes.
Don't want to give the illusion that there's anything going on.
If there is, we have front row seats.
Right.
Start of the second quarter from the Relevant Sports Complex. Kyle Ward in motion. Cologne looks to pass. He throws to his right. Ward makes the catch. And Ward is knocked into the boards, out across midfield. He is out at about the 20-yard line of the Stampede.
And he ducked under what could have been a huge hit from Lee Holmes on that play. Just narrowly escaped him. Made the play. Now, it looks like it's short of the first down, Joe. After that 1st and 20, so it's going to be 2nd down and about 6 on the play, maybe 5, 2nd and 5.
You'll have to keep down and distance mentally, Dave, using the monitor.
Yep.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah, trying to use the sticks as well, which is opposite us.
Yeah, that's not going to happen on that side of the field. Once they come back this way, we can. Cologne once again in the shotgun. Adams in the backfield. They fake the handoff, and the throw sails over the head of Kyle Ward. That looked like an RPO, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looked like the timing was just off between Cologne and Ward. Ward was kind of running a little bit deeper into a route that took him towards the middle of the field.
Well, I can tell you, Dave, the play design certainly was effective because Ward had a lot of space. Cologne had to get that ball out quickly as the Stampede were making their way into the offensive backfield, but Ward did have some room. If that ball's on target, something may have come of that last play. And that's going to set up a 3rd down. And you said it, Dave. Looks like about 5 or 6 to go for the Jersey offense. It looks like the official just signaled timeout Bearcats, but not entirely sure. As right now, there's an animated discussion going on between the offensive huddle of Jersey and one of the officials. And this game has come to a screeching halt, Dave.
Yep, and part of the issue, of course, is only having the 2 officials here, I'm sure. But I don't know if this was a timeout call, too, but the officials do want to speak to both coaching staffs here.
Now, it looked like there may have been a dispute over what down it is. It's certainly 3rd down.
It is 3rd down, yeah. We had the penalty on 1st down that made it a 1st and 20, and then the Kyle Ward catch made it a 2nd down, and then, of course, the incompletion now makes it 3rd down. So that's correct.
I don't think we've missed anything, so
nope.
The question that remains is whether or not Jersey called timeout. It looked like the officials signaled that way, but maybe that was a signal for an official timeout, and I'm mistaken. Nonetheless, 3rd down for the Bearcats. They lead by a touchdown, looking to keep their 2nd drive alive. If I was a betting man, I'd say should they not convert here, they will likely go for it, barring a big loss, and perhaps even with a big loss, they might consider going for it.
Field goals in play too, Joe.
You're right about that. Ward in motion, pre-snap, handoff goes to Nasir Adams. He's grabbed by the jersey, but I don't believe he was taken down soon enough to prevent him from picking up that 1st down. We'll see how close it was.
Yeah, I'm staring at the official. It is a 1st down, Joe. They've called it, but Nasir Adams, even as high as he goes some of these holes, when he hits those holes, he is hard to bring down. He is a big guy. And the Bearcats showing they are not afraid to run the football in these spots.
Well, it looked like Duke Wilson had him by the jersey on that play. And Adams just kept on running. And if there's a ball carrier who's going to be very tough to bring down just by grabbing the jersey, it's Nasir Adams. And his workload only grows as the Bearcats offense moves toward the goal line.
Ball's at the 14-yard line, so they can get a 1st. without the benefits of scoring.
Savrides in motion. Throw goes left. Bubble screen. Kyle Ward forced out along the boards for a gain of about 6.
Yeah, but you got the defensive backs playing well into their own backfield, about 7-8 yards away from the line of scrimmage, and boom, you just throw it right to Kyle Ward. Let him do the rest. He finds the sideline, but not before he gets about 6 or 7 yards. Plenty good on first down, and a nice start here from in close.
And we spoke about it ahead of last week's game. This Jersey team has been really good early in games, jumping out to leads. That was not enough in week 1, but they are closing in on a 2-possession lead as they move in toward the goal line. This time there are 3 receivers to the left of Stephen Cologne, who is in the shotgun. Adams in the backfield. Savrides in motion. Handoff goes to Adams, and he is taken down as a flag flies once again. A.J. Roque thinks it's against the Stampede.
Well, that flag did come in very, very late at the end of that play. So we'll see what the call is. Design run all the way, obviously, that time.
Looks like Nasir Adams is pointing in the direction of Steel City as well, but we'll see what the officials have to say. Not much to be gained here from a penalty flag, though, if Adams did not pick up that first down, which it did not appear he did. Well, the penalty yards could net him a first down.
Right. I was going to say half the distance could get them very close, but they'll be at least able to repeat the down unless the ball is spotted closer anyway. We'll see. Right now we haven't even gotten a call on the penalty.
Well, Dave, it's becoming abundantly clear early in this game that plays run are going to be at a premium. A lot of time is coming off the clock without any football.
Right.
And we saw during week 1 the big advantage for Steel City, 35 plays to 23. We highlighted that during the pregame. Early in this game, it seems like you may be lucky to get 7 to 10 plays in a quarter.
Right. Well, Steel City certainly didn't get that many in the first quarter.
Nope.
Before time ran out on them. And the Bearcats here with their second drive of the game now, we would think, closing in on midway through the second.
Chance of defense coming from the Steel City supporters now. It is first down for the Bearcats. They are right on the doorstep of their second touchdown. As the direct snap goes to Nasir Adams. And Adams is just short of the goal line as he made a bid for his second touchdown. It looks like the Bearcats might be looking to hurry here.
Yep, looks like the ball spotted at the 1-yard line.
Will they hand to Adams again here? He has been a featured player in these spots for Jersey all season. And Cologne will keep it. And Cologne,
does he get the corner?
Is just short.
Nope. Remember how this Stampede team frustrated the Bearcats when they were in close multiple times in the second half of that game. The Bearcats were unable to come away with points. Now, they still have 2 shots at this here from what we guess is about a yard away.
Well, Dave, go back to week 1. In this spot, they ran the quarterback keeper right up the middle. That time, Cologne tried to take it around the edge. And Steel City did a great job of denying him that edge. See if the Bearcats look to power the ball between the guards here. And they will hand off again. This is Kyle Ward, and the football is out. And the Bearcats get on top of it, but that will go for a loss of about 2 or 3. And Steel City is going to have a chance to get this football back without allowing any points.
Yeah, that time Steven Nelson gets on top of that, so the Bearcats offensive line coming up with 2 huge fumble recoveries, as it looks like we are going to have a timeout here called on 4th down. We do have a player down. I believe that's the reason why we have the timeout, Joe. Hard for us to see with our naked eyes. But the Bearcats have run 3 runs from in close here, been unsuccessful on all 3, and now we're going to have a big 4th down coming.
If there is a player down, we did not see it and still cannot see it from our perspective. Right now, happenings in the end zone also obstructed on the monitor by the Bearcats huddle. So it looks like it was just a timeout, Dave. Andrew says there is someone down on the field. Looked like there was a player down to a knee. I did not see a player down on the field.
Yeah, not anymore. They got up under their own power, but it was a Stampede player. And what I'm more interested here, Joe, is where the spot of the ball will be, because that fumble recovery looked like it happened at about the 3 or 4 yard line.
Well, the down marker says third down. It is certainly fourth down.
It's fourth down, yeah, for sure.
And I've noticed that throughout this quarter, Dave. The down markers over at that end of the field have not been turned over until after the ball is snapped. And it's been very misleading. I've had to double check our graphic on the scoreboard, but it is indeed fourth down. And you said it, Dave. Did they rule the runner down? Where did they spot the football? Looks like
it's like about the 4.
Yeah, so they did not rule the ball carrier down. The fumble was recovered at about the 4, and Jersey has it, 4th and goal. The Stampede looking for a big stop in a 7-point game. The Bearcats looking for a 2-score lead. As it looks like Steph Cologne might be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. A.J. Roque passing him the play calls from the offensive backfield. Roque stands at about the 10-yard line. And that's a botched snap. Cologne looks to run. Running out of space. He throws for the back of the end zone. And that is caught for a Bearcats touchdown.
Patient work by Cologne. You have to be super patient and trusting of your receiver. And that time, Joe, Owens was following him across the back end of the end zone and then just stopped. When we see that replay over and over when we get home, and for those who can rewind it, you will see Owens physically calling for the ball and telling Cologne, send it this way, kind of motioning into himself as if he was going to be backing up. And that's exactly what he did. He just stopped his route. And credit to Stampede. They got a lot of pressure on Cologne, strung him out as much as he can, but that's a great play by Steph Cologne, extending the play, great concentration, and here we go. Now it's 13-0.
Stampede did kick to open this game. So they will get the ball to start the second half. Again, our time on your screen, not official. We have about 6:40 to go in this first half. So Storego sends it away. That was played on a hop by Justin Green, and Green has one man to beat. He is gone. Touchdown Stampede, and they are right back in this game, Dave.
Gorgeous response by the Stampede. And we know, Joe, we say it so many times, special teams is going to find a way to make an impact in this game, and the Stampede just made the first huge special teams play of this game.
Well, he was gone in an instant, Dave. Right. I looked down at my roster to see who it was receiving that squib kick, and Green was already on his way to the end zone. Look at that burst of speed up the far sideline. One broken tackle was all he needed. Stewart is sent in motion. That's a bad snap. We saw that in week 1, and the pass is intercepted. Another interception off this Bearcats defensive line. We have seen that more than once already this year, as we have a player down, and
Walton.
That is Caleb Walton, who looks to be holding his right shoulder, and you hate to see that. He is clearly in a lot of pain.
Yeah, that's not a good sign if you're a Stampede fan right there. That is really tough. Shea Davis, of course, made that interception, and Walton does come off under his own power. That's great to see. He's holding that right off to the Bearcats. The extra point, of course, no good. Score remains 13-6. But the storyline at the end of that play is Caleb Walton.
Well, the good news is it looks like it wasn't a shoulder. He may have hit his hand on a helmet, and those are brutal.
Yeah, we'll probably see another look at it, Joe, and just see, looked like the pressure was there immediately. And it forced Walton to kind of just throw one up there.
Looks like the play design, at least during the play, might have been a screen pass that was just blown up.
Yeah.
The Bearcats will get the ball back, and we've seen how quick possessions can be in this arena game. But generally speaking, that has not been the case for Jersey so far today.
Yep. And, Joe, don't forget that Shea Davis, if not for Tony Ram making a great tackle on that play, he gets 2 points, and it's 2 points the other way. That's a heads-up play by Ram.
No question about it. If you're the defense, you love to see that from your offensive lineman on a play. Because on the stat sheet, you'll see points allowed. They don't factor in how many of those came on a 2-point conversion. For Jersey, and he is out across the 20-yard line, tackled.
To start their drive, not too deep in their own territory, still plenty of room to operate there in the middle of the field. And Joe, I think that's been really the storyline, is what you just mentioned, the fact that the Stampede have just not been able to run their offense much at all, which was a sharp contrast.
I love sharks too, Dave.
I'm trying to think, is it sharp contrast to what happened in the first game, especially the second half. We're not sure, we don't have our scoreboard up yet, but we have got 2 minutes, 50 seconds.
The Jersey offense will take over just shy of midfield. You know Steel City is looking to get this ball back. The Bearcats hope to go into the half up 2 scores. Cologne sends Ward in motion up the field. 3 receivers to Cologne's right. Cologne will throw down the field for Ward, and that pass is intercepted.
Now they have momentum. They've just finished scoring, and they get that ball right back.
Now, Dave, I was listening in to a conversation that was taking place in front of me following that play.
Yep.
We are right in the midst of the bench area for Steel City. I got caught up in the celebration there, but you said it. That was Fisher on the INT. And he gives the ball back to the Steel City offense, trailing by just 7. And how quickly this game has turned, Dave.
Yeah, and the conversation that was happening in front of us, Joe, was about the time left on the clock. And A.J. Roque did come back and say, we are confirmed, we are stopping the clock in between possession changes. So we had about 2.5 minutes on our clock. It should be about closer to 6.5, 7 minutes now, because we are going to stop in between possessions, which does make sense. We said it, that's the way it should be.
Caleb Walton and the Stampede offense back out on the field. Walton will look to throw. He's under pressure, tries to spin away from a sack. He does. He throws up the field, has Nathan Beamer, and Beamer is forced out. He took a big hit at the end of that play.
He took a huge hit, but he did it crossing over the first down marker, so the Stampede able to get the following the extra point or the 2-point conversion attempt. He looks to be okay.
The Stampede and their fans are energized right now, Dave, and that's saying something because it is hot in here.
Right. This place is packed. Place is absolutely packed, and it is blazing hot in here. We are sweating profusely. We're not moving.
Profusely is the right word.
Yeah.
Beamer in motion. Walton, again under pressure, throws off his back foot, and there is nobody there. Now, is there intentional grounding in the AAL2?
I don't think so. Devontae Lewis might have been open here on the near side, but Walton was looking far side the entire way, or the middle of the field to Beamer. Beamer was being double covered, or at least was getting some safety help with him. As we have another discussion going on in the Stampede huddle now, perhaps wanting a late hit on Walton.
Well, the more time that Walton has between plays, I think the better for him, especially after that shot he took. It looked like a hand hitting the helmet of a defensive player on the 2-point try following the Steel City touchdown on the kick return. First play of this drive resulted in a first down, and that last play results in an incomplete pass. The question is, Dave, at times like this, is the clock stopped? Is something being discussed? I don't see how you can run the clock here.
Well, neither do I, but ruling-wise, unless the official motions that the clock should stop here, the clock is running. And it will only stop on a change of possession or after a score, but after the 2-point conversion or the 1-point conversion.
Steel City offense ready to go here. Walton will move Stewart over in the offensive backfield and will throw right. That pass is caught by Juju Jordan, and he is immediately pushed out along the far sideline. And Jordan wanted a flag there.
Yeah.
Threw himself to the turf, or perhaps was helped to the turf after the play.
He did, but just good job by both teams, though, to kind of become unraveled there. A couple of the Bearcats had a chance to lay a really big hit in the boards, but they opted not to. So good job by them to stay away from that. And it will be a 3rd down and relatively long here, Joe, about a 3rd and 7 coming up.
That was a wise play by Jersey defensively, not to risk a personal foul in that spot. As we have a 3rd down and about 6 or 7 yards to go. Stampede undoubtedly would go for it on 4th down unless they're hiding a kicker from us. We have not seen them attempt a kick in either of the 2 games they have played against the Bearcats this year. 3 receivers on the field for Walton, 2 to his right. Stewart in motion. Walton looks left. That pass is complete to Lewis.
It's good enough for the first down.
I think he's got the first, Dave. You're right. That completion good for a Steel City Stampede 1st down.
Yep, and now there is a flag down, Joe, right at the line of scrimmage. So remains to be seen here. It'll be holding on the Stampede.
That will back him up. Did not catch that flag. Good eyes there, Dave.
Now, Joe, one of the Stampede players that I do not see and may have lost him during the season is number 27, Jeremy Estremero, who was a big part of that first game between these 2 teams. But in his place, we've seen the emergence of Devontae Lewis. And, he ran that route perfectly, Joe. He got right to the stick, turned around. Walton met him. That would have been a 1st down. But now it's going to be a 3rd and about 17, although I don't see where the ball has been spotted. Looks like this. Oh, no, they picked up the ball now, so.
Well, Estremera, you mentioned him, Dave, over 70 yards receiving in that Week 1 game. Big effort from him. You said it, we haven't seen him today. But so far, Lewis has done a good job in his absence. Special teams coming up big for the Stampede as well. Still no points on the offensive side, looking to change that here.
So it's a 3rd and 17 coming up. A huge play here, and this is where the Bearcats really want to show that pass rush that they have been known for. You want to be able to force Walton to make a quick decision here. Although Walton's been able to extend some plays, we've seen that as well. Everything on the table.
If you're Jersey here and you can force Steel City to go for it on a 4th down, that would be huge. Lewis in motion, heading up the field. Low snap, Walton throws right, tight window, and that might have been assisted by the padding. That was Manny Stewart, who jogs all the way down the field into the end zone, but the whistle blows that play dead, and that will set up a 4th down.
Yeah, I think defensive coordinator John Valentine telling Palmer to make sure he finishes that tackle. Of course, if you're too excessive, you can get whistled for the flag, so I get what Palmer did there, but looked like he was out of bounds, and that was the right call. Still, though, like I said in the pregame, you have a chance to hit them. You want to make sure you hit them and bring them to the ground.
So, Dave, they gave him the completion.
Right, but for very minimal yardage.
Yes.
So 4th and maybe 16, but still 17 in that range. The 1st down marker is at the 12-yard line of the Bearcats. So gives you a little bit of an idea if you see it on your screen.
4th down. Beamer in motion to the left of Caleb Walton. Walton looking, scrambling, eyes down the field, throwing, and intercepted along the far sideline by Nick Price.
Now we have flags coming in well after the play, Joe, but this play will stand. Price gets the interception. I don't think it really would have mattered, Joe. In fact, the Bearcats lose a little bit of yardage thanks to that interception because it would have been well short of the 1st down. And, Joe, something to see on that play, Nathan Beamer, who was lined up on the near side close to us, falling down at the start of that snap, really kind of messed the play completely up for the Stampede. So it became a busted play from the start, Joe, and they were unable to fulfill the big 4th down conversion.
Well, you said it, Dave. That cost Jersey a few yards. However, they will take the turnover. And something to note, in Week 1, Dave, we did not see a single interception in that game.
Right.
3 turnovers, all fumbles. Do we have 3 INTs in this game already?
I think so, right? We have 2.
We have 1 by Steel City.
Right.
We have 1 there by Jersey. Did we have one earlier?
Devin Butcher had
You're
one.
right.
Yep.
1 in the end zone. That's 2 for Jersey. So 3 interceptions in the first half of this game.
When we looked at the stats pregame, we talked about the turnovers. Although the Bearcats only had the one, it was a monster one. And that one turns out not to hurt them on the Cologne interception. The Stampede unable to convert that into points. Now let's see what the Bearcats can do.
And they will take over here, leading by 7. We think we are in the waning moments of this first half as a flag comes out.
Delay a game, maybe?
Unsportsmanlike
on the
conduct.
Stampede.
And the Bearcats.
Oh, it's both coaches, Joe. Both coaches were behind the official, yelling back and forth to one another. Then they stopped yelling, and then the flag came down.
Haven't seen that yet this season. And those are the nuances we can pick up as we're about maybe 15 feet away from A.J. Roque, who you can see on your screen right now.
And what that does is really give both coaches and both benches an effective warning. We don't want another personal foul unsportsmanlike on either side.
All right. Offsetting penalties, 1st and 10 Bearcats. Cologne once again operating out of the shotgun. Ward in motion pre-snap. Cologne looks to his right, throws down the field, well out of bounds, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, it looked like a delayed blitz called by Steel City that time. We don't have a number 32 on our roster, but like he was coming in hot to Cologne's right side, and Cologne picked it up and threw it right out of bounds.
The incompletion will set up 2nd down as you might be getting some sounds of the game over our headsets.
You can consider us mic'd up because we're right in the middle of the players here.
We certainly are. 2nd and 10. Owens and Ward to the left of Cologne. He will send Savridis in motion. Cologne looks left, throws right, screen pass blown up. Big tackle by Sagan Mallett on that play, and Adams goes nowhere. That's a loss of a yard or 2.
Yeah, good job by the Stampede to stay home that time. Not being fooled by the quick screen right at the front of the line of scrimmage or right behind the offensive line, and nowhere to go. Now it'll be 3rd and 11. And with the way the Steel City Stampede have been rushing the quarterback and the way their pass rush is getting home, Cologne's got to get rid of this ball quickly, and he knows it too. As they discuss the play call here, it looks like it's coming from Cologne.
How about the play of the defenses in this first half, Dave? They've been fantastic so far.
Yep.
3rd down and long. Owens in motion pre-snap. Cologne looking that way. Cologne throws down the field, and that is overthrown just over the outstretched arm of Dante Owens.
Yeah, Owens looks like he overran it just a bit. The coverage was there, though. Give the Stampede credit. Hakeem was step for step there. It was put in a good place for Owens, just a little bit overrun on the play. But 4th and 11 now, Joe. Decision time. Big play still on the table. The home run still on the table, but this is where you expect them to utilize the middle of the field.
Well, the Bearcats are going to go for it here.
1 minute warning, Joe.
All right, so we were about
20 seconds
off. Not bad. And that's big, Dave. As the clock will stop. It was stopped, or was going to be stopped, you would presume, by Steel City if they had the chance. But knowing the 1 minute warning was coming up, they let it run down. And Jersey will snap it with an even 1 minute to play in this first half. Stampede defense looking to get off the field on 4th down. 3 receivers to the left of Stefan Cologne. Savridis the motion man. Cologne looking down the field, under pressure, rolls left, heaves one up, and that is swatted away, incomplete. That pass broken up by Fisher once again. He had the pick earlier.
Yeah, and Fisher was in a nice position and really got to that ball a little bit late. Otherwise, Savridis might have been able to, elevate his jump at just the right time to beat him high for that ball. Instead, I think Savridis' timing was a little bit off, Joe, on that play, and that's because Fisher came in right at the end to swat that ball away. Nice job by Fisher. And now both defenses taking center stage, Joe. Apart from that special teams touchdown, both offenses have been stymied.
Hopefully we don't get any calls from the FCC after that, Dave. Bearcats
They're fired up.
Turn it over on downs, and the Steel City defense is fired up. You said it, Dave.
And now they have a little bit of a short field. That ball spotted about the 18-yard line here.
An eternity for Steel City to get even or take the lead at the end of this first half. First down from inside the Jersey 20. Stewart in motion. Walton takes the snap, rolling to his right. Throws over the middle, that's caught. And Lewis is taken down just outside of the 10-yard line.
Sadiq Nathaniel, who we spoke to pre-game. Ball spotted about the 11-yard line. So a gain of about 7 on the play, 2nd and 3. But a nice job by Nathaniel not to allow getting to the edge to extend that play, as we have a timeout, I believe, because remember, the clock official is noting it in his book. So I believe this is a timeout called by the Stampede. And you're right, Joe. I think that the whistle was to signify a timeout because it didn't look like he gained the out-of-bounds marker on that play. And the clock would have been running.
So by our count, Steel City should have 2 timeouts left.
Yep, and we have approximately 43 seconds left, which we know, and if you've been watching us all year, that's enough for like 2 or 3 drives, Joe.
If you know anything, it's that we know nothing.
Right.
Especially when it comes to time.
But we've certainly seen teams utilize 42 seconds to their advantage and really put, 1 and 2 drives together sometimes in that amount of time.
In week 1, Steel City scored twice in the last 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So don't rule out a Stampede touchdown for sure. Don't rule out a Bearcats touchdown.
And that was
never know.
And that was after losing 2 onside kicks. So it's not like they just immediately got possession back. They had to stop the Bearcats on 4 downs.
And when Jersey fumbled, they fumbled at, I believe, the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
So the Stampede had to go the length of the field in 12 seconds. They did just that and scored.
Right.
All right, looks like we're finally set to resume action. Second down and 4. Lewis in motion. Walton to throw. Over the middle and intercepted. Once again, that's Blutcher. And Nathan Beamer comes in to make the tackle. He was helped by Tony Linus on that tackle. And it looked like a bit of miscommunication there between Walton and Lewis. They are talking about it right now.
Well, it's that, Joe, and it's Blutcher's positioning was immaculate, and I don't think Walton even picked him up, Joe. Looked like he threw it right into his midsection, and sometimes you don't see him in the periphery of your face mask or through your face mask. It was thrown right at him. Now, perhaps Lewis not cutting in front of that pass to kind of take it away.
Well, heading back to the bench, he said it's on him. A unique perspective we get right on top of the action.
Now, also, because of the time that's left, there should be plenty to go. Here for the Bearcats, up by 7 with the ball.
The Steel City bench was saying 20 seconds. I don't know if that's exactly where we stand right now.
Ball's at the 15-yard line, Joe, so 35 yards to pay dirt, with the field goal on the table as well for the Bearcats.
No question about it. I think if we were ever going to see a field goal, it could potentially be on a drive like this. Cologne looks to pass, steps up through the pocket, and floats one that is intercepted. Justin Green with the INT. And he is stumbling inside the Bearcats 10, where he is taken down. 1st and goal, Steel City.
Just a misfire as penalty flags come out very late. It'll come after the play. But, Joe, you said it. Just floated one up over the outstretched hand of Savridis, who was running underneath in open space. That's just a misfire for Steph Cologne.
As, once again, we were told ahead of that last snap that there were 20 seconds left in this first half. Not sure if that was exactly accurate, but we estimate that if it was, there are 11 seconds remaining in half number 1, and the Stampede offense will need about 14 yards for a touchdown.
So what do we say? Enough time for 2 or 3 possessions? Well, here's our 3rd possession inside of a minute to go. Stampede had it. Bearcats give it right back. Stampede again.
Motion man is Lewis. Looks like the Bearcats jumped off sides, and that pass is complete in between three Bearcat defenders.
We'll see if they take the automatic yards here, Joe, and get 5 yards forward, or if they decline and get the ball at the 5. I would think that they would decline the penalty, but no. Are they? Oh, well, maybe that's the end of the half.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, can a half end on a defensive foul, Joe?
No. It cannot unless you decline the penalty, and the ball has been spotted at the 5.
Right.
So if they decline the penalty, the half could end there.
Well, Joe, there might not have been a penalty. I don't see a flag down. There probably should have been.
There certainly should have been a penalty.
Yeah,
There's no question about it.
And if that's the case, the half cannot end on a penalty, on a defensive penalty anyway, unless, like you said, it was declined, which obviously would not be.
No. There was no flag on the play, Dave. So
there was none. No, there was none. And
the half ends on that play.
Maybe we could get another quick look at it and just see where the stutter happened. Now, remember, a defender can get back after crossing, provided it was.
Young did not get back.
I know, Joe. I know, and I'm trying to give it. We don't have the replay, and that's okay because our naked eye pretty much told the story. But Joe, that's halftime.
And what a half it was, Dave. The Jersey Bearcats lead the Steel City Stampede 13-6 in this 2023 AAL2 Championship Game. When we come back, Jersey will kick off to Steel City. The Stampede get the ball first to open the second half. More to come following this halftime break.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
Life insurance is a benefit you and your loved ones need. Buying it early means lower premiums, higher benefits, security, and peace of mind. At I'm Covered Life Insurance, you get a personal touch from Anthony M. Royster, whose primary purpose is to provide proper protection. Unsure of how to start or want the keys to a sound financial plan? Call Anthony at I'm Covered Life Insurance at 267-323-9632 or email aroyster@amrimcovered.com.
Warananko Sports Center is the official home of the Jersey Bearcats and is proud to welcome the AAL2. Located at One Park Drive in Roselle, Warananko is available for parties and rentals, public skating in the winter, and camps and activities each spring and summer. Visit us at waranankopark.com to learn more about our rink, indoor dining and party area, and all that beautiful Warananko Park has to offer. waranankopark.com or call 908-298-7849.
Arena football fans, make sure you keep up with the latest news and information from the AAL and AAL2 all year long at AmericanArenaLeague.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Like, subscribe, and follow all of the AAL2 teams to keep up with the latest league happenings and stay connected. Want to sponsor the AAL and AAL2? Contact us at info@AmericanArenaLeague.com. We'll see you at the arena.
If you plan to do chicken, then do chicken like a champ at Wing It On in Linden. Voted #1 medium wing sauce at the National Buffalo Wing Festival. Wing It On is family owned and operated in Linden, New Jersey, and we have an excellent array of your favorite wings and chicken done to perfection. We have the true flavor of champions at Wing It On. Stop in or order now at wingiton.com or call our store at 908-486-0910.
The Jersey Bearcats would like to thank Von Seals Veggies and Seafood, official food sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats game day. Von Seal's food truck is available for bookings at vvsfoodtruck@gmail.com, specializing in the most delicious seafood with the freshest of vegetables made to order. Follow Chef Supreme and Von Seals on Facebook to see where we are serving the best plant and pescatarian food near you.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at totalperformancebodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email daveriemann@rcn.com. New Jersey Urban News is a voice for the voiceless, breaking news, health and wellness, business, the arts, and the latest local sports. As a black news source in the Garden State, New Jersey Urban News is dedicated to covering New Jersey's vibrant African-American community through informative stories and thorough coverage. New Jersey Urban News covers stories often overlooked by mainstream media, impacting the 1.3 million people that make up New Jersey's black community. Visit them today at njurbannews.com. Today's broadcast is being sponsored by the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army Junior ROTC, and the Crusaders, a winning combination of enterprise, leadership, innovation, courage, and commitment. Learn more about the U.S. Army and ROTC programs by visiting goarmy.com and at usarmyjrotc.com. Become a part of our winning team through enrollment, employment, and leadership opportunities. Be all you can be with the Army and Army ROTC. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. This broadcast is being brought to you by the Three Bleezies Entertainment Group on the Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Catch the Three Bleezies weekly show, as well as live recordings, and all the opinions and the unfiltered hot topics you've come to love about semi-pro. It's the resource for semi-pro football and more, from the official source for all things Bleezy. The Three Bleezies Facebook and Instagram page. Visit and follow now. Mundo, yeah, yeah.
Unique Resin Design specializes in home decor with one-of-a-kind handcrafted resin products, perfect for your home and any place you love. Perfect for gifts and parties, let Imani Green dazzle you with inspirational creations you can get at only one place, Unique Resin Designs. Visit us at uniqueresindesign.com and learn how to get free shipping on your next order.
Lila Keys Photography. To capture the very best memories, let Lila Keys Photography be your answer for maternity and milestone photos, family portraits, events, and graduations. From simple headshots to action-packed sports photography, Lila Keys Photography preserves your greatest moments and achievements. Reach out at lilakeys21@gmail.com or reach out via Instagram at Lila Keys.
It is halftime in the 2023 AAL2 Championship Game, and as you see on your screen, the Jersey Bearcats lead the Steel City Stampede by a score of 13-6. And Dave, we said it several times throughout the first half, what really stood out to us, the play of these defenses. We saw interceptions going back and forth throughout that first half. We had a fumble that was recovered by the offense, but these two defenses in that first half performed at a high level, and we've covered Jersey all season long. That's really the most we've seen their offense struggle in a half this season. Only 13 points, and not much going on after that opening quarter.
Well, it's almost as if the Stampede kind of picked up from where they left off during the first game between these two teams defensively. You know, they kind of frustrated the Bearcats a little bit. They forced the Bearcats into some penalties as well during that game. And yes, they do give up the 2 touchdowns, although one of the touchdowns, Joe, was on a great defensive play. Only, of course, the Bearcats made the better play in the back of the end zone with that touchdown grab by Owens. But Stampede have been brilliant. And, Joe, this is the second week in a row we've seen the Bearcats pitch a shutout during halftime, at least defensively. Obviously, Stampede have scored, but that was the special teams 35, 40-yard return to get them on the board. But otherwise, the Stampede offense not able to put up points in that first half, which is very, very, very unlike Steel City. This is a team that likes to put up points, and they put up a lot of them. And in a lot of games, they're simply just outscoring their opponents. Right now, they have 0 on the board. It's going to take more to beat this Bearcats team.
We spoke about it during the pregame. I asked you what stood out to you from the first round of the 2023 AAL2 playoffs, and you spoke about what stood out to you from the first 2 semifinal matchups ahead of this championship final. Something that stood out to me is something we talked about ahead of the game between Georgia Lina and Jersey last week. How about that fourth quarter between Maryland and Steel City? The sheer amount of points scored in that quarter, and you said it, this Steel City team, accustomed to scoring a lot of points, they put up 34 against the Bearcats in week 1. The Bearcats season low, 32 points in that game, and as I said before, the defenses have done a great job. But on the offensive side, Jersey did make some good adjustments. They faced a lot of pressure on Steph Cologne in that first half, and they were able to work around that. The Stampede defense did a good job getting into the offensive backfield, blowing up some plays, but Jersey also responded with some good play calls, and that set them up with a 2-score lead. What worked so well for Jersey offensively to get them that early lead?
Well, I think they were really patient, Joe, and I think that they Stampede weren't getting the kind of pressure that they got towards the end of the first quarter and all the second quarter. You know, the pocket for Stephen Cologne was a lot different from when this game started to when it finished. And that's something that the Bearcats are going to have to solve here in half number 2. Way too much pressure on the quarterback if you're the Bearcats for your liking, and that is something that's going to have to change. And it's obviously something that the Stampede are going to be looking to accentuate in the second half.
Stampede did do some good things on offense in that first half, but not what we saw from them in the second half of week 1. All 6 of their points coming on special teams. What can they look to change offensively in order to get through against this Jersey Bearcats defense? They did a great job in the second half of week 1. They're hoping to repeat that effort here in half number 2 of this championship. What do they repeat that effort?
Well, I hate to say it because they're so good at it, but I think where the Stampede have really had success offensively is really working predominantly at the line of scrimmage, Joe. Those bubble screens, those flare passes, those 2- and 3-yard inside passes right underneath, under the soft coverage of the Bearcats. I think that is what's worked. I think their kind of insistence on going down the field in 10, 15-yard chunks, that's where they've really gotten into trouble. And, Joe, they've also hurt themselves. They put themselves in some big 3rd and long, 4th and long, down in distance because of penalties. So they have to really curb the penalties, put themselves in better down and distance yards to go, and that could allow them to be more effective at the line of scrimmage and not force them to have to look 15, 20, 25 yards down the field.
That's a good point you make, Dave. Timing and rhythm, so important to the Steel City team offensively, and that's paramount on those short passes. You have to get the ball out quickly, on time, and on target, sometimes in some very tight windows near the pads and along the boards. And this Bearcats defensive line is something we've talked about a lot this season. They've done a great job collapsing the offensive backfield. They've forced Caleb Walton to scramble a bit, and that's resulted in some throws that have been off target. We saw a miscommunication down near the end zone for Steel City offensively. That really hurt them when they had a chance to perhaps tie this game or take the lead. So that's something that needs to be sorted out for Steel City here in the second half. How can they make sure that they keep Caleb Walton in rhythm and outside of working in a collapsing pocket? That's also an issue that's faced Steph Cologne in this game.
That's right.
The pocket has collapsed around him quite a bit as well. We saw the Bearcats try and combat that with some designed quarterback runs, but Jersey is a team that has relied on their run game a lot more. As we saw during the pregame, the Stampede did not rush for a single yard in week 1. that has not changed here in this championship.
You know, we're going to see a pretty big moment in this game because the Stampede, they get the ball first here. Remember, they scored their only touchdown on special teams after a kickoff. They have an opportunity to do that again, but they get the ball back first. What a chance to make a statement here for the Stampede. Presumably get this game closer or tied or even take the lead on this possession. It's all on the table here. This is a huge possession in the game.
It certainly is as we get set for kickoff in the second half of this 2023 AAL2 Championship. Anthony Storego getting ready to send it away. We already have one touchdown in this game on special teams. The Stampede had one more as they get it back to start the second half. Once again, Steel City will start from the 25 right along the midfield stripe.
Yeah, and that time Green took it plucked it right from out of the air on the fly as he's kind of playing as an up man.
Well, we know he has good hands, Dave.
Absolutely.
He already has an INT.
Yeah, and every play that he's made on the field has been big in this game, including those special teams plays.
Stampede will take over from just shy of the midfield stripe, trailing by 7. Still looking for their first points on the offensive side of the ball. If I remember correctly, they scored 12 in the first half. 2 receivers to the right of Walton. Beamer in motion up the sideline. He comes back to the ball and makes the catch as he is pushed out of bounds.
Close to a first. He does have it.
He has it. So just like the last drive, or I should say now 2 drives ago, pitch and catch between Walton and Beamer. First down on the drive's opening play. Beamer in motion pre-snap once again. Walton under pressure. They have him by the shoulder pads, and he is taken down. Joey Ramirez on the sack, and that will set up a second down and long.
Yeah, when you can't get the edge of that pocket, that's going to be dangerous for Walton. He's been able to do that 2 and 3 times, able to scamper out near the sidelines, buy himself some more time. But we know the kind of interior pressure this Bearcats team can get. That time Ramirez finishes.
Walton throws over the middle. It's behind Stewart. Off the deflection. It is intercepted. Sadiq Nathaniel up the sideline and gone. Touchdown Bearcats.
Pick 6. Sadiq Nathaniel converts it off the chest of Devin Blutcher, who was in position to make his 3rd interception of the game. Instead, that is a huge dagger early stage.
I tried to get a look at that replay, but how many times have we seen that by the Bearcats this year? A touchdown on defense. We've seen several pick sixes, both in the secondary and on the defensive line. We had a pick from the D-line earlier in the game as well.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? It's these big plays, and really it's about trusting your teammates in the zone. We know that zone coverage, and if somebody fails on their zone, there's nobody there. But, man, that zone closes quickly when you have the kind of athleticism that this Bearcats team has in the secondary.
Those zones right now giving the Stampede some problems, and Nathaniel, Palmer, Blutcher in that defensive backfield for Jersey. They have been huge all season long. Week to week, any single one of them can make a game-changing play, whether it be on an interception, a pass deflection. They've found a way to make impacts on more than one game that we've covered here on PDF. And this, of course, the biggest game that the Bearcats will play all season. They now lead by 2 scores.
And at what point, if you're the Stampede, do you start to really be concerned with the way the offense is producing? Because right now, Joe, they only have the 6 points. It came on special teams. They've now turned the ball over 3 times, twice in the red zone. And it's just been, it just hasn't been clicking. And, you know, the clock is stopped right now, but we know how quickly this time can escape them.
And I think the clock right now becomes perhaps the biggest factor down the stretch should Steel City not score on this drive. They can reverse the narrative in this game very quickly if they get the ball back right here and score. If they do not, they then are battling 2 opponents, Jersey and the clock, and that's always tough to do.
But it becomes mental, Joe. At some point it becomes mental where when are we going to score? When are we going to turn this thing around offensively? When are we going to start clicking?
They'll get another opportunity here as that kick is sent away, and it is off the facade of the roof, dead ball.
Yeah, and the ball will be spotted right there where it hit the facade. We saw this last week in our game between the Lions and the Bearcats. And Stampede are once again going to have very good field position here, Joe. So that certainly hasn't been the excuse either. They've had the ball situated nicely, and they've just got to complete a drive at this point just for their own confidence and just to get out of their own head a little bit.
Well, Dave, they've had nothing down the field.
Right.
There haven't been many tries down the field, and the reason for that, as I said before, pocket collapsing around Caleb Walton, really hasn't had time to survey in a clean pocket. He's been forced to roll out, make throws on the run. He's been throwing to some tight windows, and when you're combining a throw into a tight window with a throw on the move, it makes it very difficult to complete passes.
Right, and when plays get extended, you're also allowing the defenders to become creative in the secondary too. You know, instead of following the route, following the play, 5 yards and out, 3 yards and in, now all of a sudden you're improvising a lot, and those defenders can improvise too.
And we're trending in a direction where, once again, the Stampede may run a greater number of plays in this game.
Right.
They're hoping the result is the same. They trail by 2 scores now. 14-point game. Lewis in motion. And we have our first handoff of the game as Keane Stewart was wrestled down hard.
Yeah.
He is down short of midfield, and once again we have a flag after the play.
And I'm not sure why, Joe. I mean, that's a tough tackle, and I know that, but Jalil Taylor had him wrapped around the shoulder blades and took him down. And it's going to be a dead ball personal foul against the Stampede. I think for arguing that there should have been. And who needs that?
If you're the Stampede, you cannot take that penalty. Cannot afford it.
Yeah, and you know what, Joe? For all intents and purposes, look, the play only got you 2 or 3 yards, but you gave the Bearcats something to think about there. Now it's 2nd and 20. So they've lost the down as well. Unless that's, yeah, they lost the down.
They certainly did. Stewart in motion. Walton looking that way. He has time here, and that was underthrown, nearly intercepted by Nathaniel.
Nathaniel almost made a huge play. Now there is a flag.
Still, the Bearcats managed to create some pressure, so much so that they were flagged for the late hit.
Well, you know, I was going to say it previous to that first down, Joe, and kind of beat me to it, but the play actually beat me to it, is that I think Walton at some point has to stand in that pocket and take a hit or two in order to make the good, clean pass. And that time he did, except it came late, and he paid the price for it. We should mention, too, that Walton left the game earlier with an injury to his right hand. Seems to be just fine. Those are tight, perfect spirals that he's throwing. Just hasn't had a lot of time to throw it. 1st and 10 from the original line of scrimmage.
Stewart in motion once again. Walton looks left, he throws left. That catch is made by Stewart, and he is taken down across midfield, and it looks like close to the 20.
Yep, and that's a good chunk on 1st down, and that's what I'd kind of look the Stampede to do. There's still plenty of time remaining in this game. This game is far, far, far from over. So if you want to work in 5 or 7 yard chunks, that's perfectly fine here. They just have to complete drives in the red zone, as we do have a whistle here.
Second down, and about 4 or 5 to go for the Steel City offense. They need a score here, Dave, especially as the clock continues to run.
And they need to go in this direction, Joe. That's the key, too.
Walton looking left, running out of time, throws downfield. Beamer is there.
That's
incomplete. No flag on the play.
That's a tough call right there. Joe, I had eyes on it. If that's me, I'm pulling that flag down. You just had a call that probably should have been made, the first of maybe 2. Remember that play right before the first half ended? That probably should have been played, that wasn't. So you're frustrated, but you can't do that. You can't take that extra penalty, and now you just have to rewind whatever momentum you had.
Well, once again, we have a lengthy delay between plays here. Is the clock running?
I don't know. I never saw the signal to stop the clock. You would like to think that officially it is stopped, but We don't know. It's going to be about a 2nd down and 14, Joe, or maybe more, I'm sorry. About 20 on the play. But it's unexplainable, really.
Walton looking right, throws that way, caught by Beamer over the middle. And Beamer nearly lost his footing as he is tackled at about the 15-yard line.
But close to a 1st down, and that's good news there, as this will be a 3rd down and very short. And that time, again, utilizing the middle of the field, but Walton allowing that play to develop, not rolling out, and more than anything, Joe, the Stampede able to curb that Bearcats rush.
That's going to be key the rest of the way. Walton, a different quarterback, throwing out of a clean pocket. Stewart in motion pre-snap. Walton looking that way, throws for Stewart, and that is caught for a Stampede touchdown.
Just a great route by Manny Stewart, and in perfect harmony with him was Walton. Joe, you said it before, clean pocket, and that's just a simple 7 yards and over. And just a perfect pass, nothing that Blitzer could do defensively on that play. No deep safety to jump in on that route. And they get themselves to within 8, possibly 6 after this, as we do not see the field goal kicker out. This is a pretty big play right here.
Well, on that last play, Dave, it looks like Steel City exploited that zone look. Stewart was all alone over the middle. Not sure if he had a man playing in off coverage one-on-one or if that was a safety just playing way back near the goal line. Nonetheless, easy pitch and catch for Walton and Stewart. They will go for 2 here. Lewis in motion. Walton throws that way, and that's high.
So the score remains 20-12, so the Stampede a full breath touchdown. Away from this one, they'll need the 2-point conversion too. Now still plenty of time left by our count, Joe.
And they will hand it back over to the defense. If there's any team that doesn't need much time to stage a comeback, it's Steel City. We know that very well.
Oh, yeah.
Another team that doesn't need much time to score, the Bearcats.
Right.
Now, just as easily as Steel City made this an 8-point game, in a snap or two, Jersey can make this a 14-point game. You have to be careful, but the Stampede defense has shown no signs they're going to allow that to happen in this game.
No, they've been really good. I mean, they've given up to 20 points, but they've been good in this game.
Taken down along the boards. He nearly broke that for 6, Dave.
That's the 2nd or 3rd time this season we've seen Kyle Ward 1 fingertip or 2 away from returning one all the way. That would have been a healthy response, but nonetheless, the Bearcats will have good field position to work with.
You know how you can make it a 2-possession game quicker than a 1-play offensive touchdown, Dave? A kick return.
No.
And they almost did it.
Yeah, and the Stampede did it earlier by turning a 2-score game into a 1-score game after a Bearcats touchdown, which was their 2nd of the game. They have it just inside the Stampede end of the field.
Bearcats offense takes the field. 1st down. Handoff, Nasir Adams. And he eats 3 hits as he stumbles into Stampede territory down around the 20.
Yeah, and that's where he excels. Joe, Nasir loves to absorb those hits.
Whistle on the field. Not sure what the delay is as they will begin running the clock.
Yep.
2nd and 4. Still await the snap as Stephen Colon converses with the official. Ward in motion. Handoff goes to Adams again. Adams met by Brooklyn Wells. Big collision as those two go crashing into the boards.
Flag down on the play, too. Looks like in the vicinity of holding for the Bearcats.
The Achilles heel for Jersey this season, in my estimation, has been holding.
Right.
They've done so many things well on both sides of the ball, but the more plays they run, the more of these holding penalties you see, especially when they put the ball on the ground.
Right, on the ground and also, off tackle, too. When they try and string those plays out into the corners, that's when we see it. Of course, it helps that the bodies are kind of unfurled on each other. So this will put them just behind the original line of scrimmage.
Two receivers to Stefan Cologne's right. Savridis in motion, Cologne looking that way. Throws the stick route, it is complete. And Savridis is pushed out of bounds.
Yep.
First down, I believe.
Yep, and that time Savridis just sat down right at the first down marker. And simple timing pattern. Steph Cologne able to find him, so first down. Yeah, it looks like about the 12-yard line, Joe.
Three receivers to Cologne's right. They throw the screen pass to Savridis. Short gain on the play. Second down for the Bearcats. Handoff Nasir Adams. And he's taken down just past the line of scrimmage. That will set up third down and long for this Jersey offense. And Steel City defense with an opportunity here to get the Bearcats off the field and give it back to their offense in a one-possession game. By our estimation, we are approaching the end of the third quarter, so still plenty of time left in this 2023 AAL2 Championship Game. Bearcats led by as many as 14. The Stampede responded with a touchdown and now trailed by 8.
I believe that's the end of the third quarter.
Dave, everything on the line in this fourth quarter. It's a one-possession game. Thankfully for us, the action moves to our end of the field. Seems like there hasn't been much down here throughout the game, though. That changed toward the end of the first half. Nonetheless, the Stampede defense with a chance to get off the field. The Bearcats can only pick up a first down, if I'm not mistaken, right around the goal line. Not as much field to work with here. That could play to the advantage of Steel City. What do they have to do to make sure they get off the field in this spot?
Well, you know, I think you just have to stay true to either your zone or, of course, your man. If you're playing man in this end of the field, at least we know at this point the run is pretty much off the table, I would assume, unless we have something in the bag of tricks that the Bearcats are going to reach back into. But they need about 13 yards here. It's got to come through the air. And, you know, I don't know if you're the Stampede, if you bring in an extra rusher for Cologne or if you just kind of crowd the end zone area. There's a lot to choose from here from both sides. But if I am the Stampede, I'm rushing the requisite 3.
The ball is loose, and Nasir Adams recovers as he takes a huge hit at the end of that play. And Dave, they were first and goal from the 1. All they had to do, in all likelihood, was hand it off to Adams. That is a huge play. As big as that broken tackle by Cologne was, that play could prove to be an even more consequential one. Ward in motion. Stampede defense saying to watch the corner. And I'll tell you, I thought that was a defender on Steel City. That was a spectator.
Looks like both teams are going to get whistled for another unsportsmanlike conclusion of that. And, Joe, that was a perfect ball threaded in between two defenders. There was a window. The pane of glass was open, and Steph Cologne put it right through the window.
They ran that play last week back-to-back on the goal line against Georgia Lina. They ran it a first time. They missed the throw. They tried to run it again on the next snap, and the ball was intercepted.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, it was knocked down. I believe it was knocked down, and it was a dropped INT.
And so the Stampede have the option to take the penalty or enforce the penalty on the try, the one-point try in this case, or on the first play of the next possession.
So the result of...
The result. Now,
so that would be a kick return?
Well, no. It would be the first play from scrimmage after the kick return. So, and it's a 15-yard penalty. So if they choose to enforce this, then it would be either be assessed here on the point after. But now we're getting the explanation, so we're trying to eavesdrop in. So either way, the point after attempt is going to be taken from right here, Joe, right at the 3-yard line.
as that is
Live
blocked.
ball.
Lee Holmes blocks it.
Blocked it out of bounds, though, Joe. It did hit the out of bounds pads, so unable to return it. Joe, does this score look familiar to you?
Just a bit.
Now, granted, it's the fourth quarter, and when the Stampede made their comeback in the fourth quarter last
early.
time, it was 32-12. And if both of the point-after attempts had been successful, now you're talking about a 16-point lead instead of a 14-point lead. That makes a big difference right now in this game. Will it matter? We'll see.
If they could have had just one more extra point, then the Stampede would need a pair of 2-point tries, assuming, of course, they're not going to kick. Now they can score, go for 2, and if they don't get it, they could have a second chance later. And we saw that play out in week 1 where the Stampede would have a chance to win it. Clock stopped on the change of possession as they're sorting out the penalty right now.
Yeah, special teams has been enormous in this game. It may not seem so, but it's been enormous. Of course, the return by the Stampede, and of course that last return by Ward put them in good field position to start this last touchdown drive.
So they were talking about something with the football crossing the line of scrimmage.
Right.
So that had to be whether or not the kick crossed the line of scrimmage before being blocked.
And the Stampede, for what it's worth, will have good starting field position again.
And once again, they start at midfield. How many times have we said that today?
Yeah, it's been pretty much both teams starting pretty much from the 20-yard line out in this game.
Steel City needs a score, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Still plenty of time remaining in this fourth quarter. They responded to a 2-score deficit on their last drive. They responded to a 3-score deficit in week 1. Do they have an answer here in the championship game on their home turf? Walton throws right, complete to Beamer. Beamer trying to cross the goal line, and he did not get there. He's just short, and Beamer is shaken up, holding his knee.
Oh, man, you don't like to see that. Beamer needs to get back on his back, let the trainers attend to him there. But officials whistled that right away, and we saw Walton go down for a little bit back in the first quarter, and now Beamer down, another one of these huge playmakers for them. And if the down marker is correct, it's going to be 1st and goal. So perhaps the spot was beyond the 10-yard line, but Beamer is going to need some assistance getting off the field. We do hope he's okay. He's been a player.
Well, the good news is it looks like he is able to put some weight on that leg.
And, Joe, we should mention, too, these guys who are playing out here, you know, this is semi-professional arena football, and these guys don't play for the money. They don't play for the fame or, of course, the big television contract, and these guys are trying to make names for themselves.
They have us, Dave.
Well, but these guys are playing predominantly for a chance at the next level, and guys like Beamer, it's going to be hard to watch them not be on the field.
Walton on the quarterback keeper, lowers his shoulder, and it looks like he has it. He's in for a touchdown, and Dave, once again, the Stampede come up with an answer on offense, helped in part by that 15-yard personal foul against the Bearcats.
Yeah, and you know what? They scored, Joe, in less than a minute.
Trying to get a look. I have to see the camera feed there. See who it is that's down on the field. Right now, we don't have a view. And
it's one of the interior linemen. Might have been Ram on it, or
I think it was Jose Soto.
Yeah, number 53. I picked up 52, but he's helping him off the field.
So Nathan Beamer just walked past us, speaking to his teammates, says he's going to be good.
He's going to be good, yeah. So
that's good to hear.
That's as inside info as you're going to get.
We are about as close to the bench as you can get without being on the bench.
Right. Well, the benches are extended. You can't see it on your screen because the benches are on the same side as the camera, but beyond that, we're tucked away in the corner, but the rest of the Stampede team is right here with us.
Some ice would be nice on a day like this.
A fan, maybe?
Just maybe. 2 receivers to the left of Walton as the Stampede set up to go for 2. Man in motion is Lewis. Walton forced to roll right and lost his footing in the offensive backfield. He is sacked for a huge loss. Nothing doing on that two-point try.
He took a big hit on that left shoulder, Joe. He really took a big hit, and nobody's fault for the Bearcats. They just kind of landed on top of him full weight. He was already kind of going to the ground, and this is not good to see.
I thought he was grabbing at that shoulder earlier in the game.
Right.
And it looks like he's grabbing at it again.
Yeah, and he fell this time on his left shoulder, and before it was his right. Either way, he's going to need some ice for those shoulders at the end of this game. But teams are at a knee right now, and they're concerned about Walton. And the way he went down, they're right there with these fans wishing him the best, but he is writhing in pain.
Well, Dave, I think we know what's coming now.
Matt Santiago, the head coach, coming in this game, team owner of the Steel City Stampede. He has certainly played the position. He's come in before when this kind of has happened. And talk about a storyline in this one, Joe. How often do you see this?
Earlier in the season, he did win a Player of the Week honor.
Yeah.
Was that a 5-touchdown game, 4-touchdown game?
I think it was 8 touchdowns.
8-touchdown game.
Ridiculous.
So I shortchanged him by 100%.
Probably. And we were, I mean, or at least I shouldn't say we. I was under the assumption that might have been a typo, or maybe like, the head coach entered Caleb Walton's name into the Player of the Week honor, and they gave it to the wrong person. Who knows? But Santiago looks like he's coming in, and it looks like Walton is under a lot of pain, and that left shoulder not doing well. We heard from Walton during pregame how he came onto this team just about 2 or 3 weeks before the season even started, Joe, and kind of gelled with this team very quickly. And we don't have Matt Santiago's number on our roster, but we're going to know who he is when he comes in the game, that's for sure.
Sure will. You hate to see that happen after a season that was culminating in a bid for perfection by this Stampede team. Walton's been the quarterback for almost all of it outside of that game he missed, as far as we know, and had performed incredibly well in week 1, was hoping to lead yet another comeback victory here today, but he won't get to finish this game. His team trailing by 8. There's still plenty of time left, but the Bearcats will get the football and have a chance here to extend their lead. Uno in play here, but Ward is out of the end zone, and he is nearly out of sight as he breaks another tackle and goes down at the 10.
Wow. And that's the problem sometimes, Joe, with the ball going in so deep, is you get all of that over pursuit committing to the ball carrier, and then when Ward finds himself a hole, that time to the left of scrimmage, he was able to take it all the way through the middle.
I thought Ward initially might be gone. You said it. The initial pursuit was an over pursuit by the Stampede. They were able to get back and contain Ward. Fortunately for the Bearcats, he went down a bit outside the 10. They can pick up a first down. I thought Ward was tackled at the 10. He is spotted at about the 12. So first down and 10. Jersey can get a first down at the 2 or 3 yard line here, and they have a chance to go right back ahead by 2 possessions. 2 receivers to Cologne's right. Motion man is Ward. He takes the handoff on the sweep, and he takes a big hit. And Dave, that could have been us, as we have another flag in the area of holding.
And every time they have run that to the outside, Joe, they have been called for a flag and a holding call, and that time, once again, holding against the Bearcats on a running play outside of the tackles. And that has to be extremely frustrating. And they're going to walk this one back 10 yards. It'll be a 1st and 20.
And when we score this game following its conclusion, get a look at the final box score, which may come in the next several days. We are going to see a total of penalty yards on that box score, and both of these teams are going to look at that number and probably have some regrets looking back at this game, specifically the Bearcats, as they have been flagged for no fewer than 4 or 5 holding penalties.
Yeah, and, they take away downs. As now the down markers are, they're getting things really wrong here. This should be a 2nd and 20. Instead, the markers have it at 2nd and 10. They'll get that right. Quarterback Matt Santiago will wear number 1, Joe.
can't say I've ever seen this.
Well, Joe, we had a crazy finish in the first time these two teams met. I win or lose for the Stampede. I get the feeling we're gonna be in for a crazy finish here.
It certainly appears that we are going to bookend the season with two thrilling games, and that's the word we used to describe the Week 1 matchup at the top of this broadcast, and I think it is certainly a fitting description for what we saw in that game. This game has lived up to the hype. We said it's one we've been looking forward to all season. Savrides in motion, 3 receivers now to Cologne's left. He will look to throw. Instant pressure, screen pass complete, flag out in the offensive backfield. A short gain or no gain on that play, and Jersey might be moving back again.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a false start. I think Savrides was well ahead of the line of scrimmage. He was the motion man, and by the time that ball was snapped, I think he was 1 or 2 yards beyond the play. We'll see what exactly the call is. Either way, it's being discussed with the coach of the Stampede, because there is a decision here, Joe, because they only gained about 3 yards. So do you want a 2nd and 17 or a 1st and 25?
That's a tough call.
Yeah, because you'd almost like the loss of a down because you're down on the scoreboard. You want to get the ball back.
Now, they asked how much time is left, and I was trying to see if I could hear the answer, but it doesn't look like the officials responded to that inquiry.
Yeah, it went unresponded to.
Yeah.
This is a 10-yard penalty. So maybe it was more than just a false start. I don't think we had an official call. Man, 1st and 30 is going to be the call, Joe. 1st down and 30. The Bearcats, the 1st down marker is at the 2-yard line. So essentially, they get 4 downs to score here. And you really break it down. Plenty of time remaining in this one, 7:40.
Well, Jersey, unquestionably, in a very tough spot here, but they do have time on their side. We are moving toward the conclusion of this game, and they lead by 8. Cologne will throw, near side, and incomplete. Looks like that was off the hands of Kyle Ward.
It was. Yeah, Ward had to elevate a little bit, but I think that's one he should have. Now, he turned his back towards the defender to try and get up and scoop that one in. 8 minutes to go is what we have been told. Thank you. And they are about 2 or 3 yards beyond the original line of scrimmage. So 3rd down and 13. And this is a huge play, Joe, because if they do not make this, they are going to have a huge decision to make here about whether they kick a field goal or whether they go for it on 4th down.
They are right in that range right now, Dave. Yep. Puzo in motion. Cologne. Hands off up the middle. And they don't gain much on that play. And Dave,
could they have been playing for the field goal?
That tells me they were playing for a field goal, but they gain nothing.
Nothing.
Decision time.
The only thing that they did was get the ball spotted in between the hashes to make it a straight-on kick for Starego. And it does look like they will bring the special teams in, and Starego with a chance to put the Bearcats up by 2 scores if successful. Now remember, this is a normal play from scrimmage, so a block and a return is a touchdown the other way.
I don't think we've had a kick in a high-pressure situation like this in any game we've covered in any league.
No, sir.
WFA, EFA, AAL2.
About a 33-yard field goal if you include the end zone.
Starego, left-footed kicker. Good hold. Kick on its way. No good. Wide right.
Yeah, he just missed it. The snap was great. The hold was good. Turnover on downs. The clock will stop here. And the Stampede, down by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, have a chance to knot this game up midway through the 4th quarter. Now the ball is spotted at midfield, Joe, so the spot at which the kick was taken. That plays into things as well. Puts the Stampede 10 yards closer. The Stampede have had no sort of running game in this one. So you'd expect Santiago is going to get busy right away.
He does not have Nathan Beamer, Dave.
Right.
Juju Jordan in at wide receiver. We saw him replace Beamer earlier. Beamer has not returned. he is not in the bench area right now.
And Jordan's going to get a running start from about his own 8-yard line. So he's right now 17 yards behind the play.
First down, Stampede. They trail by 8. Closing minutes of the fourth quarter. We have about maybe half of the quarter remaining. And Steel City looking to come from behind against the Bearcats for the second time this year. Here today with the AAL2 Championship on the line. Santiago goes deep with his first pass, and that is knocked down. Devon Blutcher got a hand on it, Dave, and he had Jordan if he put a little bit more air on that football.
Yeah, probably a little bit deeper into the end zone is where he wanted to put that, but tried to put the nice soft touch on it, running underneath it. Devon Blutcher's able to get at least his fingertips on it to deflect it away, or else that could have been dangerous as well.
Just short of a first down, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be 3rd down and 1.
And look at the Stampede also not huddling up. They want to keep things working very quickly. Now, we did see Nathan Beamer in our area, Joe, asking how much time was left because he's fixing to try and get back into this one. He's not on the bench yet.
Perhaps maybe we see him down around the goal line, and we're approaching that area of the field right now.
Right, because even if he's out there, Joe, as a decoy, he's a big decoy. He's a big body. And he's going to require a lot of attention.
Santiago throws left and is intercepted. Broken tackle along the sideline. Keemon Coleman with the INT, and the Jersey defense comes up big yet again.
And now we have flags coming in after the play. Joe, on that last play, number 32 for the Stampede, saving a touchdown. And definitely some hot tempers after that. Now, the Bearcats will get this back. There was a flag down. It did come after the play. And so the Bearcats are either going to be set up with really great field position out of this.
We estimate that there are about 5 minutes remaining in this game. Still have not received word on that from the officials, who are keeping time at midfield.
Yeah. And play is away from us, Joe, so we don't have the officials to kind of tell us either or shout at us. Now the Stampede come in, of course, discussing that play. Maybe even pick some of it up on your microphone here, but a little bit of miscommunication. Either way, the Stampede looking to get this ball back. Unofficially about 5, but we don't know for sure.
Well, the Bearcats, with a score, might be able to put this game away. Their defense has been that good today. Carry goes to Adams, and Adams is pushed out of bounds. Now, did they assess that penalty ahead of that snap?
Well, I think the penalty was against the Bearcats, Joe. I think they either were excessively celebrating or had some things to say after the play to some of the Stampede players. So they started with a fresh 1st and 10, just backed up. That was about a gain of, I want to say, about 8. Although we lost the down marker. They're stationary.
Okay, I didn't see the first down marker.
All right.
Is up against the glass behind the blue padding. So Dave stepping off headset to attend to our production software for just a moment. Bearcats fake the pitch, handoff on the sweep, but Stampede were all over that one. Loss of a couple on that play. Savrides on the carry. And that will set up 3rd down. Third down and about 4 for the Jersey offense. Big question here is whether or not this is 4-down territory for Jersey. Would they attempt to kick it away? I don't think so, especially if they can get it into a 4th and short situation. Cologne in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left. Ward in motion. Cologne looking right, throws deep up the sideline. Savridis is there, and he makes the catch as he takes a big hit into the boards, and the Bearcats have 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. We may not get a second look at that on replay, but you saw it in real time. A huge hit on Savridis, sending him into the boards. He holds on in heavy traffic all season long. This Bearcats offense has had the big play in their arsenal. Perhaps no play bigger than that right there. Handoff, Nasir Adams, counter, breaks 2 tackles, and he is in for a touchdown.
Wow, Joe, just 2 huge plays in a row, and the Bearcats able to kind of flex their muscles and show their sheer strength. The job by Savridis to hold on to that ball after getting clocked into the padding, that was a thing of beauty. And then Nasir Adams, like he's done all season, Joe, makes himself small, and guys just continue to pop off of him. What a play, and they're up by 2 scores again.
Bearcats leading now 32-18. In week 1, the score was 32-20 in the 4th quarter. And we all know how that game ended. We had the time entering that drive at about 5 minutes remaining in the 4th. Storego extra point is good. That will make it a 15-point game, and as I said before, a 15-point lead will force the Stampede to convert on at least 1 2-point try, perhaps 2, if they do not elect to try an extra point. But before they're worried about that, they need to find the end zone with time running out in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, 100%, Joe, is now also with your backup quarterback in the game. Still haven't seen Nathan Beamer. Clock running down, we believe about 2.5, 3. Now, we should mention we've lost our graphic capabilities on the broadcast. We know we still are online, but the internet has really taken all of our access away, but we'll look to get that fixed in post. 2.5 minutes to go. We have just received confirmation, 2.5 minutes to play, and the Bearcats with a 15-point lead.
We can create a scoreboard in post. I think we can handle that.
We can handle it. Might take us a little bit longer to get it up on screen, or get it out there as a final product. But we've rolled with the punches too, Joe, here on PDF Sports Network. We're so happy to have been a part of the AAL2 this season, their debut season. Got a lot to be proud of here.
Still 2.5 minutes remaining in this 2023 season, perhaps more. As that kickoff once again just clears the roofing. Jordan on the return. Cuts up field, gets through a small seam, still on his feet, and he is finally tackled down around the 15.
By Storego, I believe, came up with the tackle. That would have been a huge return, because then if you can convert an onside kick, now you're right back in the ball game. But the Stampede on a short field will be able to kind of cut this to a 1-score game, potentially.
Steel City must have a touchdown on this drive. Still plenty of time. The Stampede have 3 timeouts. Question, should Steel City score, is how will Jersey look to run out the rest of this game? And can they do it?
That was a problem last time now. Also remember that in that game, the 2 onside kicks, one of them was actually recovered by the Stampede, only it did not travel the necessary 10 yards.
Jordan in motion up the field. Santiago throws that way, and once again, that pass a bit underthrown.
And Joe, you could tell now where simple repetitions have just not been there. You could see the wide receiver in on that play does have a little bit of a window. There is a chance to hook up there, but because those guys just don't practice together, that timing is just off.
They're out of position on the field, but right now it only takes one completion to find the end zone. They do not need a huge play to score.
That's why I almost think that they should still remain near the line of scrimmage, Joe. Still look for that bubble screen, still look for that developing play downfield.
Lewis in motion. Santiago moving to his left, throws that way. It's caught by Stewart, and he's tackled immediately as two Bearcats collide with one another.
Stewart might have done well that time to just catch it and head up the field. Instead, he kind of curled back in to try and get himself some more space, and it cost him a yard or two and not a lot of real estate up the field. It'll be 3rd down and about 7.
I think by going down to the turf, he saved a big hit. You said it, 3rd and 7. Stampede will undoubtedly have 2 plays to pick up a 1st down. Stewart, the motion man. Santiago drops the snap, bats it forward, and that is recovered by the Bearcats.
Jaleel Taylor on another turnover for the Stampede. I believe that's their 5th of the game, Joe. And they're going to lament after this game. Certainly the lost opportunities, the 5 turnovers, and that was a bad snap, Joe, and I think Santiago knew he couldn't really get on top of it, so he tried to flick it a little bit forward, perhaps looking for his lineman to get on it, but Jaleel Taylor was there instead. It's the 2nd time that he's covered up a fumble. One was on, I believe, his own team that he was able to cover up.
Now, did these Bearcats fans watch the Week 1 game? Apparently not.
Right.
Apparently not.
Are they singing the Na-Na song?
Oh, they sure were. They sure were. And in case any profanity came over the microphone a few moments ago, we'll be clear, we do not condone violence.
We certainly don't.
We do not condone violence of any kind, just to be clear. But
I was going to make a joke, and when you said, if you heard what went over the air, I was going to say, I apologize for Joe. Yeah.
I think by this point, our viewers know my voice well enough.
Right. Yeah, we got to hear it all here. But we've lost our scoreboard capabilities, but we'll lay it out for you. 33-18 is the score. Bearcats ahead. We are under 2 minutes to play.
And Dave, that play goes for a loss. That stops the clock for under a minute.
Well,
did we get to that
point? Right now, we have a whistle. I believe a timeout is being taken by the Stampede. Okay. That's what I believe. I'm not sure because I still haven't seen the signal for 1 minute to go.
I don't believe we could have been at the 1 minute mark yet.
I don't think so.
So wisely, Steel City takes timeout.
It will be a 2nd down and 11 from right inside the 10-yard line. And if that was the Stampede calling a timeout, that's their first, and they'll have 2 left. So not over by any stretch.
Not at all. Three receivers to Cologne's left. And they will hand off on the sweep. Ward breaks a tackle in the backfield and fumbles the football. Did he get back on top of it? I believe he did. And Dave. Jersey trying to run out the clock in these games. They just haven't been able to do anything right.
And they should know better. The Stampede going all out for that football. That is job number one for them. Get the ball back. And Kyle Ward almost guilty there of giving the opponents a 1st and goal, a desperate opponent at that. But now it's 3rd down and close to 15 from about the 6 or the 5. And, you know, if you're the Bearcats, you obviously don't want to put the ball up in the air. I think the Stampede know that.
Well, Jersey will have it. 3rd down in this spot. 2 receivers to Cologne's left. He's looking that way. Pump fakes. Throws down the field. Owens has it. Breaks a tackle and takes it all the way for a Bearcats touchdown. Dante Owens puts this one on ice for the Bearcats. They lead by 3 scores, and Jersey is on the verge of securing the inaugural AAL2 Championship.
Flags come down well after the play. The Stampede arguing that they had gotten Owens out by the boards. We will get the official ruling on it, but Owens to the house if it stands 45 yards. And for Cologne, that is his 4th touchdown pass of the game. The score 39-18. Potential point after coming. Now, I think the flag was against the Bearcats, Joe. So again, we have an opportunity for the Stampede to either back them up on this point after. Right now, it's a 21-point game. So it's a 3-score game no matter what. The Stampede down by the most points that they've been down all season long.
And we did have another flag after that play as well. I'm not sure if that was sorted out. I was over.
Well, I think they were discussing, Joe, same deal as last time. Where do they want to enforce this? Either on the point after or on the possession after, and I think they've elected for the possession after. I think that's the correct call to make.
So they excessively celebrated again.
I think so, or there was some jarring after the play. Now, if Storego gets this, it's a 22-point game. And they'll need two-point conversions for sure. No
That's
good.
wide left. Now, by your estimation, Dave, would you say this is the best defensive effort we've seen from this Bearcats unit all season?
I would have to say, when you're playing a team that just came off a 54-point spot in their semifinal against the Eagles, you hold them essentially to 1 score, basically. You know, after that, special teams won actually 2 scores, but, you know, it's just one of those things where they're a really hard team to stop, and you were able to stop them, and 5 turnovers. You know, it's hard to win games when you turn the ball over 5 times, Joe. You know, 2 or 3 times in the red zone.
In the first half, both teams were trading turnovers, and in the second half, Jersey was able to clean that up. They nearly committed a catastrophic turnover on that fumble that would have opened the door. Adams got back on top of it.
Well, Joe, you know, the other thing, too, the point I was going to make is when we talked about the semifinals for both of these teams, we said that it wasn't pretty. There were still things to clean up, but a win is a win. And both these teams won in very much the same fashion that they win all season. Well, this is going to be another situation, as we are told 32 seconds left on the clock, 32 seconds, and a 21-point game. But, you know, it's one of those things, Joe, there. You know, either way, it's going to be a winner or a loss for one of these teams. We believe that the Bearcats would probably hold on here in a sloppy game. Let's face it, in that first half, it was downright sloppy at times, but they just continue to stay who they are. They throw that deep ball consistently, and like I mentioned during pregame, they got guys who could take a 1-yard gain and turn it into a 40-yard gain. We just saw that with Owens.
Kick is away and off the lighting fixture, which fortunately remains attached. And Steel City will take over just shy of midfield. Now, they are going to have a change at quarterback. It looks like Rich Adams will take the remainder of the snaps under center. We'll see if they run any offensive plays or if they look to try and run this game out instead. And if you're the Stampede, and as a fan of the game, you hate to see the way their season ended. Huge injuries on the offensive side of the ball. First, Caleb Walton, then Nathan Beamer. And that put them in a tough spot.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, in a championship game, you don't want, you want to see your big guys, your attack dogs really playing out there all game long. And unfortunately, those injuries really hurt. And the Stampede are going to have to finish the game without those guys, and we're going to see it on your screen. The Bearcats will likely be celebrating here in less than 30 seconds.
We mentioned it coming in. Stampede were unbeaten, winners of 8 straight. Bearcats also winners of 8 straight. As the Stampede will look to throw here. Adams, a left-handed quarterback, listed as a running back on the roster, tried to run, stayed in bounds, and continues to fight forward a bit after that play ended.
A couple of guys shaken up on that play, the two Bearcats that ran into each other, but they get up and unfurl as Jules got tangled up that time with Taylor. Could that have been the last play? We'll see the clock trickling down. Clock is running, and we'll see if the Stampede get one more in. 39-18 is our score, even though the scoreboard here says 40-18.
You're right, it is 39. Adams on the direct snap. Nice hole. And he picks up a first down.
Could be it.
That should do it. Barring a timeout, that should be the final play of this game. Looked like ahead of that snap, the official signaled 23 seconds. The Stampede are headed back to the line of scrimmage as the whistle blows, and that will do it. Though Bearcats aren't in celebration mode yet, and neither are their fans. However, the Jersey Bearcats are the inaugural American Arena League 2 champions as they extend their win streak to 9 games and defeat the Steel City Stampede in the first American Arena League 2 championship, 39-18.
Well, the key word there, Joe, is first, and, first is forever. And, whether the AAL2 goes on for 50 more seasons, 100 more seasons, or 2 more seasons, there'll always be a first ever champion, and the Bearcats are that team. They finished 9-1 overall and 9 straight to end their season, and they avenge the game against the team that they wanted in the Stampede, and what a complete performance for this team.
They did it all on both sides of the ball. In the first half, it was a defensive battle. Only 19 points scored ahead of halftime. After that, the offense for Jersey really picked it up in the second half. They score 26 points in half number 2. all game long, their defense made big plays, forcing 5 turnovers, many of those coming on interceptions, one coming on a botched snap.
Yep, and you know what, Joe, obviously temper is a little heated up there, but for the most part, Joe, embraces by each team. A lot of respect that goes out between both of these teams. They played their butts off out there. Unfortunately, one team had to lose, and what really both of these teams did during the year, Joe, is they gave us a show. They gave these fans a show. This place was packed. It was loud, and it had that kind of championship nervous energy at times, but energy all the same. And, one team has to win, and that's the Bearcats, and they deserved it. They've had a fantastic season, and they finished it off with a W.
This was a one-possession game heading to the final minutes of the fourth quarter. So this game certainly delivered. The final score might not indicate that if that's all you look at. But from start to finish, this was a back-and-forth game, a very competitive game, and a very entertaining game. The AAL2 gave us entertaining arena football all season long. It was a blast calling these games. But, Dave, we have one more job. We have to choose our East Coast Trophy and Awards Player of the Game. Now, I've asked before, can you give the game ball to a unit? The defense did such a great job. I feel like everyone on that side of the ball has gotten their time to shine on the post-game show this year. Do you give it to the quarterback who threw 4 touchdowns?
Well, it's tough.
I don't think Steph's gotten it yet.
I don't think he has, and I think maybe the poise that was shown by this team, maybe he should be. And, I think that we're going to try to get A.J. Roque on the air. And we'll try to get him on the air, and maybe he could give us somebody who he'd like to give a game ball to. But either way, a nice performance for him. I think Ja Valentine might be headed our way too, and that would be fitting because his defense came up with some big plays. We are going to get Ja on the air.
How y'all doing today, folks?
Hey, what's up, Ja?
We're doing well.
We contemplated who should get our player of the game.
Ooh.
And we said we might have to give it to the entire defensive unit because you guys really showed out today. What a tremendous job. What can you tell us about the resilience of your team?
Listen, as hot as it is in here, it is a sauna in here.
Yeah.
It is a sauna, but we were subbing a lot, staying hydrated, you know what I mean? And they stuck to the game plan. The game plan was, every other week we were going outside because quarterback was a scrambler. Mm-hmm. This week we pinched more, pinch. We tried to get to him. He was elusive a lot of the times. But we got the picks. We got, 7 interceptions? 6 or 7. 6 or 7.
So we were talking about it late in this game. This certainly has to rank with your units, one of their best performances of the season. In your estimation, where did this effort rank in terms of defensive performances throughout the season?
Let's see, what's the score? So they scored twice, right?
On defense? You allowed
against
2.
your defense, you only allowed 2.
Special teams, 1 touchdown, defense 2.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. As far as a best performance, turnovers-wise, yes. Turnovers-wise, it was our best performance. But I feel like our D-line, we were kind of tired.
Right.
We were kind of tired.
Right.
You can see, it showed.
Yep.
Yeah,
you know what? Coach Roque said it at the end of the game last week against the Lions. Sloppy, but you find a way to grind it out and win. And the key for this game was 60 minutes. You could kind of feel scores like 26-12. It's the fourth quarter again. Kind of feel like at least the chatter here was like, we still got this. Mm-hmm. What's it like to see your team actually close things down?
At the end of the game, when it's like, all that chatter, it's about being professional. It's all about professionalism. You know what I mean? We can't keep going back and forth, chirping. We got a player kicked out. You know what I mean? Taking your helmet off. We have to be, better in the way that we conduct ourselves as a team. And that's all it is just, I think it was a lot of emotion.
Yeah, sure.
High emotion.
Sure. Well, John, we want to allow you a chance to get back to your team and celebrate this, but tell me, for you personally, how does a win like this feel?
Oh, it feels great. I'm a champion. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, we appreciate covering the Bearcats all year long. And Coach, if you want to tell a couple players to come on over, join us. It's been a pleasure watching you guys off season.
All right.
Wish you the best, and congratulations on a great season.
All right, thank you.
All right, you got it. That's defensive coordinator Ja Valentine, who's coming in and joining us. And, of course, we will get some other players on the broadcast as well to join us. Devin Blutcher will join us. Devin, 2 for 2.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Devin? So, Dev, we're just talking to Coach Valentine about, the defensive performance, really staying true to who you guys are and getting some big turnovers against this Steel City team. Tell us a little bit about how big of an impact that defense made by getting those turnovers.
Oh, the defense did their job. We did what we were supposed to do. We just kept our offense in the game long enough so they could capitalize and get enough touchdowns so as to win the game. That's all the defense needed to do, is just maintain, stop them from scoring, and we did that plenty of times.
Yeah, and you were also able, of course, to get some interceptions yourself. How does it feel to get those, to get the momentum back for your offense, give them the ball back after the Stampede were really traveling down the field, but they couldn't convert in the red zone?
Oh, it felt amazing because it was exactly what we needed. The timing was so great. The momentum swung in our direction, and we just capitalized.
Unbelievable. And Devin, for you personally, of course, what does this championship mean for you?
Oh, for me, it's I don't even know how to put it in words. It's an accomplishment, honestly, because we worked so hard as a team. We knew this was our goal. We came in with one goal, and we accomplished it today. So I'm overwhelmed with excitement, and I just can't wait to celebrate tonight with my teammates.
All right, well, speaking of celebrating, you're missing some good stuff there.
I am.
So why don't you go join them, Devin? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You got it. Devin Butcher, one of our players of the game, joining us 2 weeks in a row.
All right, I'm back, Dave.
Yes, waiting for you. AJ's on his way in. Joe, but got, of course, stopped on the way, celebrating with some folks that he knows. And we got a chance to speak to Devin Butcher. Another 2-interception performance for him. Talked about the keys to getting those turnovers.
Well, the turnovers in this game were key to the Bearcats' success, and we saw it throughout the first half. The Bearcats' defense was really giving Steel City fits on the offensive side, and it wasn't just around the line of scrimmage where they were generating pressure, and in the secondary where they were getting picks, they created problems everywhere on defense. Obviously, we didn't see the Stampede try and run the ball very much. That's something that carried over from week one. I think they had one rushing attempt in this game in week one, didn't rush for any yards. Here in the championship, did not rush for any yards as well, and we are going to get a chance to talk to the championship-winning co-owner and head coach of the Jersey Bearcats, AJ Roque. Thanks for joining us. How good does this one feel, first and foremost?
Phenomenal. Oh, my God. Love it. Because I've coached other teams, and we've lost in this building before. But this one was good because, the Reading Raptors used to play here. 85% of them, maybe, 80%. A good amount, 75, all were Raptor players.
AJ, one of the themes coming into this game was 60 minutes. Play a whole 60 minutes of football, and you could see in the fourth quarter, times getting a little tense. Obviously these guys on this side feeling like they were still in the game. How important was it to shut that door and to play that 60 minutes of football
Finish.
tonight?
That's all we were trying to do, finish, right? Because last time it was, under a minute, and they scored 2 touchdowns. We lost. That's why the game wasn't over. We had to continue moving the ball.
So week one, obviously, didn't get the win against Steel City. You get a second chance today. Obviously, you're not looking for any particular team in a championship. You just want to win the championship. But given that it was the Stampede and you got a chance to avenge that and make right by that week one defeat, how important was that coming in?
For us, that's all we wanted. So from after we lost that game, we were like, all right, this was a wake-up call. Because like I said, our roster, we got the best team on the field. It is what it is. I am saying that. It is. We got the best team in the league. And we got beat, right? So that humbled us, right? We had to go and figure it out. What happened? And we were thinking we were too high. We were riding too high. And that's how we lost. So, it was just finish.
Excellent. And, Coach, as far as the offense in the first half, you've said it to us many times, games have not been always won clean. They've been some sloppy. There have been things to work on. At halftime, going in, knowing you had those turnovers, what do you say to the team to kind of get them right and come out blazing in the second half like you guys did?
Finish.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Again, at halftime was finish, right? It was a close game. Finish. We were making mistakes. We were trying to force the ball down the field. Steph, you've seen Steph. Steph turned the ball over one time before today. Today we had 3. Right, we're trying to force things. Don't force nothing. Take what they're giving us.
Right.
Right. And we relied today on the run game a lot. If you notice, a lot.
Yeah.
Nas.
100%.
Right. Whatever you got to do to get the victory. Defense scored. Kyle gave us great field position on a couple
Specials,
kickoffs.
Yeah.
The full team win.
We've spoken for a good year now trying to get to this point in the season. I know how hard you have worked as far as the league is concerned. You were out here at 9 a.m. painting lines on this field. For you personally, to win this championship, you know, that's how great Steph is. He takes off the headset before because he knows we're going to be angry with him if he douses our headset. But for you personally, all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into making this a season, making this an actual league,
absolutely.
giving these kids a chance to perform and get to the next level, some of them. How's it feel?
Absolutely. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, all we're trying to do is make things right? Because there's so bad in this game of arena football. There's so many bad things that go on. All we're trying to do is set a standard, right? People don't want to believe the standard. It is what it is, but that's the standard. It's got to be followed, a certain way to do things. If not, you just can't be here. And put it like this, there's no team that finished in the AAL2. This is the best part, undefeated, right? You go a lot of these leagues, some teams finish, start to finish, undefeated. No one finished undefeated. And we went all the way to the last week to find out who was the number 3 and 4 seed for the playoffs. Right. So us and the Stampede were at the top, but top to bottom, you had to fight to the end to get in the playoffs. You know, I think we got something going.
Well, listen, we've enjoyed being a part of it. Thank you for everything you've done for the league, for the team, for us. We're going to have Coach K on and enjoy his moments.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, AJ.
Now, that's a way to get the headset from Coach K. Steph Cologne.
He knows what he's doing on the hunt.
He's a vet. We've had him here many times.
We've seen him on the Bleezy show. We know what he can do.
We have. Early in the game.
Last time we was in a game like this, y'all saw me on the side crying, man. That was the EFA championship. This was a little bit different outcome right here, man. Shout out to the boys in the front.
Different outcome, the outcome the team was looking for. Early in the game, the Stampede were bringing the pressure. Your team quickly adjusted, got the ball out a bit more quickly, and you were able to make big plays on short, quick passes and in the run game. Were there any more adjustments that perhaps we didn't pick up from here at the commentary desk?
Yeah, I just feel like the biggest adjustment was just calming down. We were caught up into the game in the beginning. We were really wanting to match the energy. We all remember what happened to us week 1. So we were just out here just trying to make sure we was up. We were attitude-wise, energy-wise, but then we was too high. We were too high, so we had to settle back down, play our game that we play. That was reading and reacting, and then when we started doing that, we started taking it short. I calmed down a little bit more, and we were straight. What was supposed to happen happened.
Coach AJ made mention of it, Steph, but obviously we saw it too. The commitment to the run game, really for all 4 quarters, that was a big difference. Tell us about the hard running of Nas on the inside, obviously getting Kyle involved, coming out of the backfield as well.
Oh, yeah, this is when I get you. I blame that on you guys because when we commentated games, it's Stephen Cologne dropping dots up top, Stephen Cologne going deep. So if you watch film, which I'm pretty sure they did, they moved back every time. And I still, like I said, adjustment. I still in the first half was trying to push the ball down the field. And AJ was telling me to just chop it down. I had a lot of energy. Then when AJ was, all right, Steph, take the hitches. The game just changed. And then Nas just made the game you already a handful to deal with Nas. So if you really weren't about to pass and we're still trying to pass, then we're not doing the right thing. Once we settled that down, no, we're going to give him the ball. And if that means it turns into an outdoor, low-scoring game, that's just what happens. And as you can see, it was hard to tackle that big guy. He's a big guy, man.
And you talked about calming down after the start to this game, back and forth start between the two teams. How much easier did the defense make it for you to calm down? They had a great game today.
We had 6 touchdowns on offense. They probably had 6 turnovers if you count the interception on the actual edge. So, I mean, we've been on the defense for 2-3 weeks now. God, we watched the .4 play. We probably watched that play about every time we watched film this week. We watched it. So today I feel like they had a chip on their shoulder. They didn't play their best. They were young. They were still gelling. Today they came out. Safety doesn't really catch interceptions, and today he was just nicknamed playmaker. He did what he's supposed to do. Sadiq, the twins that's not twins, they were on the outside causing havoc. As you can see when they threw jump ball here, we fought this time instead of giving it up. And I think those little plays like that really set the tone. Defense, man, I asked Coach John at the beginning of the week, does defense win a championship? And he was like, nah, Steph, you're going to go win a championship. And I'm like, Coach John, after the game, it looked like more defense than Coach Steph. Steph. So it could have been 50-50, but, man, that defense, hell of a defense, man. I really love them boys, man, from D-line to secondary.
Steph, tell me a little bit about your personal journey, right? Obviously playing in the outdoor game, last summer and the fall. This AAL2 is a new formed league, obviously with some players who've been involved and some coaches, obviously, who've been involved. But it's a new system, right? It's a new chance to learn new teammates, new systems. dissect new film, things like that. And that takes time. It takes time for teams to gel. But you guys made it happen, so much so that you finished your season off with a 9-game winning streak and as champions. So tell me a little bit about that journey from making the decision to play Arena and then winning this championship.
Oh, yeah. So, I've just was joking about it with my mom and my lady last week. Like, I took the year off. I was done with Arena Ball. It was fun. My last year was rough. Lost in the championship, had to split time. I really was okay with, like, you know what, that's it. Took a year off. As you guys know, my dad passed away on outdoor football, Coach D. So that kind of just reset my clock for me. I was like, let's just spin it one more time. Coach AJ told me from 2 years ago he was going to give me a call. So once he called, we started building the team, getting things together. I saw what we had in camp when we first started, the first time he came out and watched us throw around. And then I'm like, all right, well, if I can just bring the professional side that I know I have to these guys, they had a couple of professionals here too. And since week 1, we went from 5 people watching film to AJ having to cut off Zoom film the last week. So that was every week. Our numbers gained, increased on film. So, just big commitment. Of course it starts up top, so, I give myself a shout out, but those guys got to sign on to Zoom, and those guys got to watch film and drive to practice. So they locked into that, and once they did that, man, this thing just losing to those guys week 1 was the best thing because that really made us lock all the way in. Like, okay, we can lose.
So before we let you go, you said you might not decide to come back ahead of the season before
No,
ultimately
I'm
decided
coming
to
back.
play.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to make sure we are going to see you next year.
Yeah, I told AJ.
Good.
I said, AJ,
Okay.
I don't know about outdoor. I might be Steph Bleezy record. Outdoor, we might got to chill, but yeah, we doing this one more year, guys.
Well, we have it on tape. We have it on tape, so we hold it.
We're happy to have you back. Congratulations,
So
Steph.
my last thing, shout out to my daughter Madison when she's watching. Shout out to Fast Break, all my kids that have been coming out all year for me. Shout out to my mom and my girlfriend, man. They've been riding with me on this journey this whole year, man. Shout out to you guys. It seems like y'all following me too, so let's just keep doing it. I'm following you, you following me. Let's keep it that way.
Excellent.
Shout out to the Bearcats and huge shout out to Coach AJ, man. He doesn't get enough credit, man. He lays everything on the line for the league, for us. Man, just shout out to my coach, man. Big dog right there, AJ, man. I love you for everything you did. PDF, I love you guys too, man. And I'm about to go spray some champagne with my guys.
Thank
Coach
you.
K.
Thank you, Steph.
Yes, shout out to Coach K.
There he is.
Y'all ready for this? Or what?
We're ready.
We're ready.
You know what? This is your segment. You break it down, man. What'd you
Man,
see all game?
I'll tell you one thing. We got a little sloppy there for a little bit, and it just came down to we just weren't executing. And then once we dug our heels in and just went at it, there's no team in this league that can touch us. It just comes down to it. And then the kickoff return, I had my safe guy had to go out because he was hurt. Steve Pizzuzi, he had a shoulder injury all week, so I had him as a safe guy. He's like, yeah, I need one. Stuck Nick out there. Nick sprinted right down the field. If Nick would have stayed where he normally has to stay, that would have been a tackle in the open field. But it is what it is. We had one mulligan. You know what I mean? It happens.
A lot of growth week 1 through now. What stands out the most to you?
I have to say Steven Nelson, center, Steven Nelson.
Yeah.
First week, man, he literally played center for like 6 weeks, and he took the lumps. I told him in practice, I'm like, dude, Von's gonna tear you up, and you gotta either. There's 2 things you can do. You can fold up shop and quit, or you can rise to the occasion. He rose to the occasion, definitely. He's the only guy that I think he missed like 5 total snaps the entire year on offense, and that's like really hard to do with his entire season, going entire season. When he had the issue with the finger 2 weeks ago, and then it's still bothering him. The kid is tough as nails. That's why he's Spike Dudley.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but you spent some time with the Reading Raptors, right?
Yes, I did, yeah.
So with a lot of these guys who are on the field?
Yeah, a lot of these guys, I knew them. Like, that's what I said last week, 2 weeks ago. I was like, it's kind of bittersweet coaching against these guys because I spent like 3 years with them.
Is it a little extra special to maybe play against some of these guys?
When they first got me, they wouldn't let me not hear about it. So it was kind of nice to get them back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and go ahead, Joe.
The familiarity helped you prepare it all?
Yes, it did, definitely. Our whole entire scheme on kickoff was based off of one player, and then I found out he wasn't playing. Kickoff return, and I'm like, well, just line up and you'll hit someone. And it actually ended up working out for the better. So, but yeah, it was definitely. I mean, we were in the Zoom chat, and I'm like, oh, I know this guy. I coached him for 4 years, or I played with him for 3 years. Kick and play. Do not take him lightly. And they were just like, oh yeah, we got this. And then the guy. we were very well prepared for what their strengths were.
Yeah, and like with AJ and the Bearcats organization, it's been around for a little while, but really, this is a fresh new team this year. Only maybe
Definitely.
2 or 3 players that have had familiarity before. So what does it feel like to really get this team really from the literal ground all the way up now to being an AAL2 champion and really setting the bar and the tone for the future of the AAL and this organization?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. It was because I've never actually lost against the Bearcats as a Raptors coach. So it was kind of like, why are we bringing this guy in? So I've known Joey for years. I've known Jaleel for years. I played on Team America with Jaleel back when I was still playing. And then like Kyle Ward, Steve Pizzuzo, I know them too from coaching against them, special teams against them and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was like we had like maybe like 6 guys, and then it was all new blood. And then brought in Sean brought in Justin. On the O-line, we had Dudleyville rocking it out all year.
Is anyone going through a table in the post-game celebration?
They keep talking about it, but they won't gimmick that damn thing, and I got to work tomorrow. So
you need a gimmick table? We can't go through the real one?
I'm not going through the real one. I'm getting old, man. I got arthritis.
They'll have to write a check out to the facility if that happens.
You have to buy him a new table.
Buy him a new table. Yeah, I ain't got that type of money.
Coach K, this place is filing out. Final thoughts from you on the season, on this game, on being a champion.
Getting a little emotional, but yeah, I told these guys, I told AJ initially when he contacted me, I was like, look, that's like a 3-hour drive one way. I'm like, the only reason I'm making this drive is to win a championship. I'm like, and if you guys aren't down with that, I'm like, if we got to make changes, it is what it is. Like week 1, we lost our DC, and we brought in Ja. I've known Ja for years. We coach really well together. Me and Ja are like one and the same. So anyways, yeah, I told him, like, bro, if I'm putting in all this time, I'm picking up players for practice. I got 2 players crashing with me right now, working with me at my job so they can make money to be able to, fund their dream. And it's just like, that's what it was all worth, the championship. And all that hard work, all that time, all that effort, all those late night drives from Roselle back to Harrisburg, man, it was totally worth it.
Wow. Unbelievable. Well, you earned it, and you're a champion now, so go enjoy this with your team.
Did you guys make the graphic or not?
We did not make the graphic, no.
Well, we knew we didn't have graphic capabilities. That's the problem.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
in this facility.
But yeah, appreciate you guys. Congratulations.
Appreciate you, man. Congratulations,
Thanks for coming
champ.
You wanted head on a bagel?
Head on a bagel? Yeah.
That was the graphic?
Something like that. It would have been funny.
Yeah, all right.
My head on anything's fun.
Maybe in post, Joe can make anything happen.
I can make anything in post. And we have to edit this game in post, so it'll be there.
All right, appreciate you guys, and thanks for coming out.
All the best, Coach K. Thank you very much.
Go Bearcats.
All right. Coach Corey Miller joining us, of course. And Joe, looks like we're going to close this place down. Not a lot of people still left. Of course, some people still enjoying some time on the field, especially with their families and loved ones. But, Joe, this was a new experience for us, too. We weren't sure what arena football was going to be like and what it was going to hold for PDF Sportsnet. But I think I share with you, it's been a wild time and such a pleasure to call.
No question about it. As you get a look at the trophy now, in post, we'll have to add our East Coast Trophies and Award Player of the Game. That is going to be Steph Colombo. We got a chance to speak with both Steph and coaches as well, defensive coordinator, head coach, and special teams coaches, and all that great stuff. But it's been a great season, and I wanted to congratulate AJ as well and Jermaine on the success of the league, the success of their team, and thank them for taking us along for the ride. It has been a blast covering arena football all season. Our first exposure to the game, week 1, we got that great game. Of course, the Stampede win that in walk-off fashion. The season ends with a Bearcats win as they go on the road to take the inaugural AAL2 Championship. And we got a good game here today as well, many of those throughout the season. And we certainly hope to be back next year to see what the next step is for the AAL2.
Oh, definitely. It's all about growth. Of course, if this is the first year's offering, we expect so many great things from the AAL, AAL2, and, of course, the Jersey Bearcats, who we obviously follow their home schedule most of all, but we hope to bring you more and more AAL2 programming as well, Joe. And, we got to thank our terrific staff for getting out there every week. And, of course, this drive, you heard Coach K say it, but this was a tough one for us. Of course, logistically, we had some things happen. We know if you were watching at home, the screen was cutting out every now and then. Of course, we'll try to get that fixed up post-game, but still, we had an enjoyable time doing it, and we got to call a championship, which is always great. Fine job by yourself, Joe, and our great team here at PDF.
Well, thank you, Dave. And for Dave Pizzuto, this is Joe Foreman, our camera operator today, Louis Matrone, our engineer, Andrew Rotundo, all of us here on the PDF Sports Network. Thank everyone for watching all season long. Once again, the Jersey Bearcats win the inaugural AAL2 Championship by a final score of 39-18. We hope to see everyone again next season. But until then, enjoy the rest of your summer, and be sure to check out PDF Sports Network at PDF Sportsnet on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. A lot more to come here this summer, including Little League World Championship qualifiers later this month. Tune in for that. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Thanks for watching, everybody.